Hello and welcome to Gamer's Ledge. I'm Mark, one of your hosts, and joining us eventually on his rock band mic will be Daniel, but he's having difficulties. We are doing character generation, talking about Roll20, and what we're going to do for our Mutants and Masterminds Rise of the Mutant game that we're putting on Tuesdays. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how's it going?
Vacuum. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Any word from Fearless Leader yet, or not so much?
He's a rabbit again.
That's great.
That's a feature.
That is a feature. Right there. Now I have whoever's talking actually up in the screen. Right now it's a Giant Anthony. Hi, Giant Anthony.
How's it going?
Oh God! Oh God!
Little people.
So then that one needs to be Rabbit also. There we go. So, I know you were talking about doing a Roll20 walkthrough for those who hadn't done it, which I think is Nick, maybe. Do you have a link you want to use? Because I'm just, like I said, I'm just using the Star Trek one in the meantime.
I have the D20 up right now with an account, I guess, but I don't have a game to join yet.
Right.
So I posted a link to the Dungeons & Dragons that I ran on Roll20 for a little bit, just to have a environment to give him the interface for. It's the same link that I posted in the chat room.
Oh,
on
Rabbit Chat? Okay, great. Let me find that. Hold on.
Oh, great.
Oh,
So many links, so little time.
launch games. And then I will change those over to the proper. Okay, so let me change that window over to...
So I just hit launch game.
Yeah, you hit launch game.
Oh God! Oh God!
Alright, I see Mark and Nick are in that game now. So this was the last scene from the campaign that we ran. Lizard Folk Lair, they killed a whole bunch of lizard folk. But this is just to show you kind of the interface. So using Roll20, are you ready, Nick?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, so we'll each get our tokens. Let's see if I can find a token for you to use. Let's scroll to the very bottom. You'll see one's kind of running around.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm going to give you control of that one. You actually might have control of that one already. Can you move it around?
Did I move it around? I look
Yep,
on my
you're
thing.
moving it
I
around.
moved it around.
So you have a toolbar on the top left. Right now the cursor is selected, which is if you click on that, you get the select move option. Click on a token, you can move it around. You can switch that to the pan view, which lets you pan around the map. The next one down is the draw shapes. So you can draw rectangles, circles, or as you want. So feel free to go play.
Okay. Okay. Apparently I missed that part. So I get where I can move them around.
Okay. So on the top left, do you see the cursor icon?
Oh yes. Okay, I got you.
Okay, so if you click on it or hover over it, a little pop-up comes up. You can do the select move or you can do the pan view option.
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay, right underneath that is the draw shape. So you can either draw a rectangle, a circle, you can do a free hand draw, draw a polygon, add some text, whatever you want. And then to delete it, just go back to the select move, click on what you drew, and then it should let you delete it. It's been a while since I've done this one.
Okay, well, hopefully I can delete this crap.
Yeah, because right now you should be the only one with control over your rectangles. So if you could select move on your rectangle, you should select it and be able to close it out.
How do I select move it? Oh, there we go.
That is correct, Mr. J Nice. No tokens as of yet. We'll have tokens eventually, but this is just character generation right now, so we're not there yet.
Okay, well, I can move around my rectangles, apparently. I don't know how. I don't see where it says I can delete them.
I think you just hit the delete key on your keyboard. Try that.
Or backspace.
Genius. Apparently, I went a little hog wild there.
All right, so there's your draw shapes, your freehand, your text, your yada yada yada, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
To change the color of it, if you look in the very bottom next to your name, there's a little yellow square. Click on that square, and it should let you assign yourself a whatever color you want.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, back to the top left, you got the magnifying glass to let you zoom in, zoom out of the map if you want to do it that route.
Yep. Okay, I gotcha. So I got the normal stuff. So I got the little dice below the snap to center button.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that?
So you can. So there's a lot of features of Roll20 that I don't use because I'm I don't pay for it. Dan pays for it, so he's got to have a lot more.
Sure.
And there's a lot of stuff that I just kind of skip over, like those bottom 4. If you go to the right side of your screen, you should have you see the chat box?
Yeah, with the rolls and stuff in it.
Okay. So the way that you do rolling dice in Roll20, you do /roll 1d20 plus 5 or whatever, and it will make that roll for you.
You don't have to do the dot. You can just do /R also.
Yep. Yeah. So the dot was to show format.
I gotcha.
So if you type in /roll that, it'll roll it for you just like that.
Can you do it like that?
You want to go ahead and roll something just so you can see how it works?
No, I gotcha. I was trying to. My screen moved a little bit, so I was trying to figure out how what I actually had to. There you go.
Perfect. So that's probably going to be the #1 thing that you do here in Roll20 is just /roll whatever dice you're doing plus whatever modifier you are. So you got a 15. You can do 2d20. You can do all sorts of syntax, formatting, counting successes, yada yada yada. A lot of cool features that you can do. To figure out how to do that, if you go, oh, we can hear you now.
Yay!
He's back.
A wild Daniel appeared. I mean, you don't sound
super
great,
effective,
but
well, I mean that's me. So
super effective. I agree.
Son of a gun.
So what did you have to change to get it to work? I'm so curious about this now, actually.
So I no longer have a usable headset mic,
Right.
which is what I'm picking up this weekend. I had to restart several times just to get my laptop monitor or my laptop microphone working. I'm actually getting an echo because I have to open it in a third-party program so that Rabbit would even see it. I am currently running internet off of my tablet as a hotspot.
So what you're saying is you were having a fantastic day and everyone's
And
busy.
it's been a super busy day. It's been a Monday.
Yay!
But it's Tuesday. It can't be a Monday. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's Tuesday. Let's not go back a day. I don't want to live this day over again.
So yesterday I had the day off. I didn't realize it until I'd already been at work for an hour.
No!
So today can be a Monday.
That's a
did
Mark
you at least get
move.
paid for it?
I'm gonna take comp time for it. Okay. So thank you, Anthony, for going over Roll20. That is the app that we're going to be using. I'm going to be drawing custom tokens for everyone so that we fringe along the edges of this content. I planned on also going over some of the MCU history, because this takes place about 7 years after the snapping, and catch people up from there. And then we also need to talk character development.
Okay.
All right, so I think I'm pretty good with the D20 site, except for the 3 seashells.
That guy doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Everybody knows how to use the 3 seashells.
How do you not know how to use the 3 seashells?
All right, well, I'm glad you guys got my joke. All right, so the 3 bubbles, like when I click on the character that I can control, there's like a red, green, and a blue circle. What are those for?
So those are up to you and the GM. What we use them for is your health pool, your mana pool, and your armor points, or whatever you really want to put in there.
Oh, okay, so I can put whatever I want in there. Okay, I gotcha. Sweet, alright, I'm good then.
And if you get really fancy on the top right, you can switch to the macros tab, and you can start adding a bunch of macros where you just click a button and it rolls and puts whatever text and stuff you want in.
No,
so you don't have to figure it out every time. And that's the very small portion of Roll20 that I actually use. There's a lot more, but I don't pay for it.
I think I'm good with the Roll20 for right now. Then I think character, creation and stuff. I think is the next thing we need to work on. If Dan wants to chime in, or
I am being told in the chat that they have heard the truth of the 3 shells. You push up and the toilet paper is behind them, and they can provide sources upon request. So, there is that.
I think that 3 seashells is a lie. Just like cake.
They actually have a website that tells you exactly how to use the 3 seashells.
You mean you don't use them together as like a prong to pull stuff out?
Yep.
No.
That's exactly what you do.
This is a triumph.
So what is the 3rd one used for?
Huge success.
To clean off the other 2.
Oh, okay. Genius. Not the future.
Alright, so this is the book that we are using. Mutants and Masterminds Deluxe Heroes Handbook, 3rd edition. 2nd edition and 3rd edition, there aren't that many differences to, but there are a couple small differences. How you spend points, though, is the same. Unlike a lot of other D20 systems, Mutants and Masterminds is a almost entirely point-buy system. So depending on the power level that you are, that tells you how many points you have to put into your abilities, powers, feats, traits, all that stuff. There is a fairly decent... there are several fairly decent character generators out there. The one that I end up going with every time is Hero Lab, but part of that's because I paid for it. So it's $30 to get a license for that game, and to create characters and do all of the math and the behind the scenes. Because as Anjamar has said on multiple occasions, the most complicated part of this system is character creation. Once the character creation is done, everything else goes really, really easy.
You said 3rd edition, right?
3rd edition.
Okay.
I actually have the book in the drive that I think I sent the link out to everybody. I know you probably already have it there, Nick.
I do, but I don't see anything with Mutants and Mastermind, but I have a copy. I'm good.
You just grabbed a random 3rd edition book?
I typed in Mutants and Mastermind, and there's a PDF online, and I clicked on it, and here's 3rd edition.
Yep. Well, does it look like this?
No, because it's not the handbook. I think it's just the Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition Heroes Handbook.
Which is fine, because there's like 30 pages of quick build, roll a dice to create a character pages, and that's all you're really missing. The super easy way to generate a character is the parts that you're missing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know. So you have the Mutants and Mastermind 3rd edition. What's special about yours?
The Deluxe Heroes Handbook.
Deluxe Heroes Handbook. All right, well, I'll do a quick
That's
check
really
of that.
what they call this player's handbook. They also have the DC Universe one, which is exactly the same, except Fluff is DC. Okay. As you are going through character creation, there are some things to point out. And this is for those of you that don't have characters yet, for the most part. Almost everything goes off of a measurement table. It is a table that has ranks, mass, time, distance, and volume. And almost all of the powers use this table as a reference. If somebody has a stat of 0, unlike other D20 games, a stat of 0 is human normal. So when Pathfinder, or other OGL product, or open gaming license products, you typically have a score, and then that score derives a modifier. So having an 18 is a +4 that you can use on your stat checks, skill checks, attacks. And in this, the score, in most cases, is the modifier. And the measurement skill is how you figure out the math for it. So, for example, let's say Fire Swift, Speedster, has a super speed rank of 10. So if I wanted to know how fast she could travel in a specific distance of time, I'd take the rank of 10 and go over to distance, which is 4 miles, and then I would go I'm drawing a blank. Anthony?
So your rank distance at rank 0 time.
Thank you. So a rank 0 distance at a rank 0 time is 6 seconds, or 1 combat round. A rank 10 speedster could run 4 miles. So a Sapphire Swift at rank 10 speed could run 4 miles in 1 round. There's a lot in this game that really takes a bit to be balanced, because as you can see, that may get out of hand. Things may get out of hand pretty easily. I distinctly remember making the argument as a player about putting teleportation portals an inch apart, teleporting somebody into a cycle that just went on for infinity.
I'm not seeing.
And that
the
was like a
problem
level
here.
5. That was a level 5 power.
Still not seeing.
So
the problem.
what about the power to obtain the portals?
He's a
So that's-
superhero. Superhero-ish.
Yeah, you can just tie it off, like they do in. Wheel of
Yeah,
Time.
because energy works that way. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's comic book.
Yeah, comic book physics, man.
How does
Well, I'm just saying it's the
somebody
same for
how does
plot-wise.
somebody with super strength lift up an aircraft carrier? The
And
aircraft
have it
carrier
not
isn't
all around
strong
them?
enough to hold shape.
Yeah, that's physics. Duh.
Tactile kinesis.
No, that's just simple physics.
Yeah. The helicarrier can just fly over a city and not destroy everything below it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Physics, man.
It was using repulsors.
Yeah.
When Iron Man takes off, it doesn't blow everything away. His repulsors don't use
It's
like
like
jets.
20 pounds,
They're not ramjets.
but they're still pushing downward.
With photons. So they
So
don't
they're
have
pushing
weight.
down with light.
Yep.
It would still have a kinetic effect.
Nah.
So,
Yeah. Anyway.
let's see.
So, stats. Abilities. Your abilities are strength, dexterity. Well, let's go over specifics real quick. Strength, agility, fighting, awareness, stamina, dexterity, intellect, and presence. Strength is obvious. It's how much you can lift, how strong your punch is.
Yep.
Agility is getting out of the way, hand-eye coordination,
And
pretty much
does
your
that affect
dexterity.
parry as well?
Parry, okay, so parry and dodge are actually defenses, where it's going to be how well you can get out of the way of range attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and parry is how well you're able to defend against melee attacks.
Gotcha.
So fighting is actually how good you are at fighting. It's traditionally used for like hand-to-hand. So Batman, for example, that's a bad example since we're in the MCU. Captain America would have
There we
a
go.
really high fighting. Spider-Man would probably have a really high fighting. I take that back. Spider-Man would have a fairly high fighting because he's experienced, but he makes up for his fighting with a very good agility.
And probably dexterity too, right?
And, well, there is... Yeah, and dexterity. Yeah. Awareness is what it says on the tin. It's how well you notice your surroundings. Stamina is fighting off, shrugging off damage. So agility is more of your physical moving around. Dexterity is more of your hand-eye coordination. Intellect is how smart you are. Of course. 1 second.
You can just click the mute button and rabbit Daniel.
And presence, of course, is how charismatic, how much you can inspire the folks around you.
Yep.
And awareness is whether or not you're a stump.
Copy that.
This is a lot like how charisma should be treated in a lot of the open gaming license.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the main abilities. Powers are where people tend to want the majority of their points, rightly they're superheroes, but you also remember you have to pay for things like advantages, which are kind of like what you feats to be in other games. So specific things that aren't powers that your character can do. Skills are what it says on the tin. Any hero without skill really isn't worth the paper he's written on. And then you have offenses and defenses. Offenses are your specific attack, sometimes through powers, sometimes just a punch. Defenses are dodge, which again is versus range attacks. Parry, which is against melee attacks. Will, which is against mental attack. Fortitude, which is a lot of, well, fortitude effects. You play other games where that's a thing. It's the same log. So disease, weakening, poison, that kind of stuff. Toughness, special bird. When you take a hit, you will have to, they'll have, part of the attack is making a toughness check to see if the damage from the attack makes it through your innate toughness. And as you take levels of damage, you're going to get penalties to things like your toughness check. So you're going to be able to take a punch from Colossus only a certain number of times before he flattens you out.
And that's reflected in stamina, is that correct?
Toughness?
Yeah.
Stamina and the powers that you have that might add.
Got it.
Oh, okay. So, Anthony, you talked to power stunts.
Cool. So as you are defining your character and getting it set up, you're going to have on your character sheet a list of things that your character can do. So you might have a power of flame control. So you have the power to manipulate flame kinesis, whatever you want to call it. You can do all sorts of different things with that. So you'll come up on your sheet with, here's the things that I can think of that I can do. And you'll pay the power points for it. You start with so many points at the beginning. As you put your points into that power becomes more powerful. So you write on your character sheet everything you can think of. When the game actually starts, there will always be, oh, here's a new unique use for my power that I didn't think of when I was doing character generation. So you have the option to, on the fly, come up with the new use for the power at with a little bit of a penalty in the game as you do it. So it does give you a little bit of flexibility. Is that what you're referring to, Dan? Perfect.
That's exactly what I was talking about. So power stunts are things that you didn't plan for originally, but that your character, it makes sense your character would do. Now, maybe not all the time every day, but in a specific circumstance. And there are certain ways that you can access these power stunts. Some of them can be purchased advantages if you want to use them more often. But there's also hero points. Now, hero points are a lot like plot points, and I've played plot points with all of you before in other systems. In this, hero points can be used for several things. They can be used to edit the scene. So, in the past, we have, let me see. A hero is fighting a villain with plant-based powers in a scientific lab. You deduce that the villain may be weakened by defoliants, so you ask the GM if there's any chemicals in the lab you can throw together to create a defoliant. The Game Master requires a hero point to add that detail, and says the right chemicals are close at hand. Now, with narrative systems, if it makes sense, I may not require you to pay a hero point for that. Unless it really makes a difference, like a big, huge difference. The way Anthony and I have played Star Wars in the past is, if it makes sense, if you're running down an alleyway and you ask me, hey, is there a dumpster I can hide behind? I'm going to say, nope. But if you say my character jumps into the alleyway and hides behind a dumpster, more power to you. You are describing the scene as much as I am to help build realism into this. And it also helps you describe your actions. Now, if you say, I jump into an alleyway and hide behind a parade float, there's probably going to be an issue, and that might be a hero point. Also, it may change circumstances. So I may say it's a heavy rain when you guys head out into the street, and so it might make certain checks more difficult, and you may be able to spend a hero point so that there is a break in the rain during this big fight between heroes, so that you don't necessarily have the same penalties that you might. That was all editing the scene, but that would be a hero point. Heroic feat, that is you spend it to gain the benefit of one rank, an advantage you don't already have until the end of your next turn. So you guys may want to be kind of familiar with the advantages available, but that would be things that you don't normally.
Like I'm trying to do a cosmic blast, and my cosmic blast is just a straight up stream of water, as an example. But then I say, oh, look, there's an axe head. I want to split it so that it hits those two guys that are running down the street. That would be an example of using a point to take an advantage on a power that I don't have, right?
Yeah. That kind of be a power stunt, to be honest. An alternate effect in the power chapter.
Sure.
So I misspoke earlier. I was saying power stunts fall under hero point. They actually fall under extra effort, which we'll go into in a second. Hero points are to be bigger. They change the story. So you can improve rolls, which allows you to re-roll and take the better of the two rolls. On a result of 1 to 10 on your second roll, you assume it is. You add 10 to the result. So let's say I was fighting Dr. Doom, and I did an energy blast, and I rolled a 2. But it's really important. I spend a hero point, roll a second die, I get an 8, but it's below 10, so I'm going to add 10 to it. One moment, please.
So Anthony, I've been looking over this guy's build for Silver Surfer, which is exactly what I'm going to do. But I have to figure out how to third it. But I've got some ideas.
Yeah. Silver Surfer is a very powerful character, so getting him down to our level is going to be interesting.
It shouldn't be too bad. The funny part is that he actually overspent for his cosmic skin protection. Because he line itemed them out, protection 3, immunity 12, immune to the ravages of space. So he spent a total of 36 points. When there's a thing in the on the power profiles, one cosmic powers that's called unearthly, and it gets you immunity for all that for 30 points. So I think there's ways to trim this down.
I think he used the immunity power and made himself immune to more things than what that does.
Aging, sleep, and life support, and extras impervious. It looks like it's all the same stuff, which is great because that means that I can make it work if I can figure out how to do the rest of it. Sorry, you were away, so I was just,
No. The whole conversation is for all of us to get a feel for the character. You're good, man.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Hero point. Inspiration. So if you guys are stuck and you need GM to throw you a bone, that's hero point. Instant counter. Attempt to counter and if used against you as a reaction. And to recover. This is essentially Captain America on his last leg. He's taking those big hits and he's about to stop. And then he has that memory of getting back up every time he got beaten down when he was younger, and it gives him that extra oomph to stand back up and keep fighting. That's what you're looking at. Okay, so let's talk extra effort. In superheroes, in comic books and movies, heroes always have that extra oomph that they push, right? Just when the cards are down, and I'm trying to think of another metaphor and I can't, they can push themselves a little bit harder to try to do better. So for extra effort, which is pushing yourself that extra little bit, you can up your power, which increases one of your hero's power effects by 1 rank until the start of the hero's next turn.
Well.
Permanent effects do not be increased in this way. Power stunt, which allows you to temporarily gain and use an alternate effect. The alternate effect lasts until the ends of the scene or until the duration expires, whichever comes first. So that's actually really neat because it lasts for a while. And the pin mark. Wink. Resistance. Gain an immediate additional resistance check against an ongoing effect. So if you're mind controlled, you can try to extra effort to break out of that mind control. Retry, which allows you to retry after a certain degree of failure. Increase your hero's speed by 1 until the end of the next turn, or increase your strength. Immediately after using extra effort, the hero becomes fatigued. A fatigued hero who uses extra effort becomes exhausted, and an exhausted hero who uses extra effort is incapacitated. Okay, cool?
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright. Now, let's talk...
Should we just, since I think Nick's the only one that doesn't have his character made that's actually kind of perfect, should we just jump in, use him as our guinea pig, and start from page 1 and go.
Use me.
So, as you are more experienced than I am in making heroes, do you mind if I have you do that?
All right,
Well, how much
so I
time do
have I have
I mean,
like an Excel
you have more time
spreadsheet.
than I do.
So
Sorry,
I have like a character creator Excel spreadsheet, character creator. So I wasn't sure how many hero points we start with. Is it just
100.
a straight 150 or?
No, it's 100, isn't it?
No, it's 150.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, okay, 150. Yeah, because I thought it was 150, and I wanted to make sure before I started, having someone help me.
I'm sorry, that's right. I took some time to get ready and was getting frustrated, so Mark requested that I knock the levels off. So you are at 100, Mark.
No, that wasn't me. That was Ray. Don't even start. It was totally all Ray right there.
Don't you dare put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So the game that we were playing here, Dan declared, we're playing as what's called a power level 10. So that's just a ranking of how powerful different superheroes are. We're coming in as a 10, which is the recommended starting level for this. At a power level 10, you start with 150 power points. So you'll spend those points to increase your abilities, to buy powers, to buy advantages, to buy skills, until all of your 150 are used. And then as we play the game, Dan will award us additional power points at whenever he sees fit that we can then use to purchase the same, upgrade your character as you go.
All right, so Anthony, you're going to use Roll20 to make the character sheets, right?
I was going to be using Hero Lab.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant, Hero Lab, right? Which is a program on your computer.
Yes, it is a separate program. And once all the characters are built, I will be using character sheets to make the character sheet in Roll20.
Yes.
I will.
You're a brave man.
Good luck
because
with that.
I have access to a bunch of extra stuff.
Wait, so here's my question for you, Anthony. I think I have figured out a way that we can actually see you do this in Hero Lab, if you're all right with sharing it.
That's kind of creepy, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay, in a separate tab, can you do a Google Hangout, and then you can share your screen, and I can put it up in the broadcast?
Yes. Walk me through that. I haven't done Google Hangout in years.
Just go to mail.google.com.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it is. For now.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay, and then the question becomes, let's see, if I add you, I have to find I have your email, so give me 1 second. There we go. So I'm adding you here, and then there will be a phone call ringing. Oh, I have to send an invite to you, so I just sent you an invite, which should show up in your Gmail. There we go. All right, so then I'm gonna video call you, except I'm not gonna use my camera because it's already in use. And I'm gonna mute it too.
Oh my.
Great. And so now, if in the top right there are 3 dots and you say share my screen,
Make sure you turn off the background websites.
yeah, no.
Oh, I already checked.
Perfect. And if you just minimize that Hangouts call, then I can actually put that up in the broadcast. Technology.
It can be done.
Add source, screen capture, window capture, and that is the Hangouts video call. Ta-da!
Now, if I only can make that bigger on my screen.
I will. 1 second. There we go.
Is that visible at all for you, Nick?
No, I can see it, I just can't read it.
I'm moving
Until you
stuff
spoke,
around.
and now I lost you.
So one thing you can do, Nick, on the bottom of Rabbit, if you click on Mark's little icon, you can pin him to main menu, so he's always there.
Ooh, I can pin it. Ooh, there we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, his screen's so much prettier than yours.
If you
Yeah, okay,
want to,
yeah, I gotcha.
Then you should have put a pin in it.
Oh, my. All right, yeah. So I can read it a little bit, which is fine. So I got that we have 150, and so I was thinking on a character that is like roguelike, to where instead of stealing powers, it steals like vitality or something along those lines, and is able to redirect that vitality to maybe others. I'm not sure how to translate that into this game.
So that's actually pretty easy. So
I figured so.
One thing that Mutants and Masterminds does very well is it has disconnected the game mechanics from the fluff behind them. So whether you're doing a fireball, a cosmic ball, an earth ball, a throwing card, it's all just range damage. Whether you're doing any status effects, they're all just afflictions. So
Yeah,
they do a very
it's
good
just
job of
fluff.
separating.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So for that ability, we could very easily make an attack called Weaken Stam. It's a weaken ability, and it would probably weaken their stamina for a certain amount. And I'll explain the specifics as we get there. And then that amount, you can link that weaken to a heal, but limit the heal to the amount that you weakened.
Okay.
Does that make sense to what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it would be like their agility or stamina, whichever one you said. So why would I? Is that because if it gets lower, they can't move, or?
Well, you said you wanted to take their life force, and
Yeah.
stamina tends to be the measure of how physically healthy and the life force of a person. Their constitution in other games.
I got
It's
you.
equivalent
Okay,
to
that works.
That's easy enough. That'll take maybe 20 or 30 of your 150. So what other ideas that you have?
That was really it. Be able to do that from a distance, and then be able to use it to, I guess, heal others that need it.
Do you want to heal in the same action, or do you want to be able to store that to heal later, or both?
Yes, both.
I'm just taking notes as we go, as you're
Yeah, no worries.
describing your character, so I know what to look at. What other character ideas, if any, do you have?
With that character, or with just in general?
Whatever you want to play. The character that you have in your mind that you want to play for this game, what can that character do? Just
that
describe
was the
your
only
character
thing-
to me.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with, like power ideas and stuff like that, and I was coming to a blank with something original, or with a character or because I was saying that we wanted to use a character that already existed, or like a character that already existed.
Oh, you could totally be Morbius. Just FYI.
Mobius?
He is a vampire.
And what is his powers?
Let me check. Give me 1 second. Mobius.
I hadn't thought about that. I had thought Elixir. I hadn't considered Mobius. Good point.
I mean, since Spider, it's Morbius, isn't it?
It's Morbius.
It's Morbius. Yeah, it's Morbius. That's what I
Morbius.
thought. Okay, so his powers are. Let's see.
Powers and ability.
Yep. It's not exact, but same difference. The difference is instead of blood, he has to do stamina. That could just be your spin on it.
So basically, this says that I would have supernatural speed and strength, as well as heightened senses, including night vision, echolocation. We can just drop that off right now because that's stupid.
Well, keep in mind, Morbius is a vampire, so he has a lot of vampire-ish abilities.
No, I gotcha.
He also has hypnotism, which would be control. An accelerated healing factor, and one of your limitations for your power set would probably be that you have to feed on a regular basis if you were going to be Morbius, just as an example.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. So would it have to be a Marvel? So Dan, so would it have to be an actual like character that exists, or like a character exists?
So, just like Mark, for example, Mark wants to play a version of Silver Surfer.
Okay.
And the reason that's important is because with current power level, he's not playing comic book Silver Surfer. And to be honest, having Silver Surfer on the screen as anything other than D level is retarded because of his level. I mean, he is the head of a celestial.
Oh, Galactus.
And
yeah, I got
in the MCU, that means he's to be retardedly powerful. So in this, he's going to be down a little bit. But these are all the MCU versions of a comic book character. So yours doesn't necessarily have to be a vampire.
Oh, I got
It makes sense, but it doesn't have to.
I think he's wanting direction, Daniel, on whether he should choose an actual Marvel character or if. Or
I would prefer.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's go ahead and I'll be a male rogue. That's kind of the Marvel character that I'm basing my character off of.
Please, for the love of God, tell me you're not going to say sugar after every word or sentence.
I said like rogue, not rogue.
Sugar or no dice?
Instead of absorbing their powers, I'd absorb their stamina sugar.
Okay.
That's as much sugar you're going to get.
Does that make does that enhance stamina and your strength?
If it's not OP, sure.
Well, I mean,
I'm not trying to make some god character, so I'm trying to, you know.
So this is another thing that Mutants and Masterminds actually also does really well, are the power level limits. So there's a trade-off that the game does. You can only, the more accurate you are, the less damage that you can do. The more damage you do, the less accurate you can be, and it's a trade-off. So the way that they look at it is whatever twice your power level is, for power level 10, so your number is 20, your bonus to hit and your bonus to damage must sum 20, and you cannot exceed 20, or must sum no higher than 20.
I gotcha.
So
I remember.
So if you do your weaken, what?
I was going to say, can I make a suggestion of a character that sounds very similar to what you're doing? His name is Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw. All right, looking up.
He's basically.
He was actually in the newer X-Men movies.
Yeah, for X-Men First Class, he was.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
He was actually really badass in that movie too.
As Sebastian Shaw is badass.
Huh? Yeah. There's a reason why he did up that for so long.
Okay. So what are his powers?
So his powers are it's again, since you're putting your twist on it, you could say that he absorbs stamina from other people through any directed thing thrown at him, and then uses it to increase his abilities to superhuman levels.
I gotcha. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he was the leader of the Hellfire Club. Okay.
Yep.
Something along those lines, I think would be. I was just thinking Rogue because she has like the ability to fly, like she and like that.
Well, you could too, because again, it's your spin on the character, so you could totally put that into any time he absorbs any stamina from anyone, it powers flight if you wanted it to.
Okay.
As well as the other stuff. So that's kind of why Anthony's asking, you know, what kind of powers do you want? Because we can build that into whatever framework you want to do.
Okay, yeah. So the ability to absorb energy and transform into raw strength sounds interesting.
Okay, so how do you absorb this energy? Do you absorb it from a touch? Do you absorb it looking at a person? Do you absorb it from being punched?
So can I do it from range?
You can do it however you want. You just gotta let me know what you want.
No, I gotcha.
So do you have like a ray you shoot out from your hands that
So, not range perception.
goes horse into you?
Sure.
Is it something that they can dodge out of the way of? Or does it automatically hit every time?
Not range perception.
Dan sees where I was going with that. It just makes it more powerful, so it's going to spend all of his points to do this one thing.
So what's the difference besides the obvious fluff of it? What's as far as power points?
It'll be.
Well,
I don't know, maybe an extra. Depends on what modifiers you have. I'd probably say it would cost an additional 10 to 20 power points to make it auto hit every time you want to use it.
But you could also say,
which
I have to
not
focus.
a fan of.
But you could also say, I have to focus on it. Like I can't have my concentration broken, and that will make it cost less, but give it a more realistic.
Yeah, you're further defining your power.
You're right.
Okay.
So let's just roll into it and see. So I know that you want it. I'm going to move this to my other screen so I can keep that there so it doesn't go away. And it doesn't want to go away.
No
okay.
worries.
So we're going to do a... How would I want to do this one?
Good question.
So I'm going to call this an affliction. So this is going to be a status effect that you call on somebody. You're going to be absorbing... Absorb energy will be the name of your ability.
Sure. So
when you go to use this, assuming that you hit, whether you roll to hit, whether you auto hit, either way, I haven't gotten that far yet. There is going to be a roll to see how badly were they affected by this ability. If they were slightly affected, it'll be a first degree status effect. If they were moderately affected or if they were super affected, it'd be third degree. So I found a rogue build on the other screen that I'm totally stealing off of.
By all means, steal.
So we'll call this fatigued. So they move at half speed, slightly affected by it. Is this the way that I want to go with this? No, I'm not going to do it as a affliction. I'm going to do it as a weaken. Rather than a status effect, you're going to straight drain their stamina.
Tired there, chick?
Yeah, 10 hours of admin work will do that to you.
Ooh, poor guy.
Do you want it to do so? Now I have the base ability, which is weaken. It's currently at rank 1. We'll increase that as we go. And it's currently costing you 1 power point because we haven't put a lot to it yet. Right now, if you touch somebody, there's a chance that you're going to absorb it. I'm going to jump this up to 10, which is max rank. It's kind of what you're defining your character around. It's the most powerful it can be at the moment. So now we have, right now, as written, you touch somebody, there's a roll to see. Based off the result of the roll, their stamina is going to get reduced. It does right now. So we need to mod that to make it more powerful to what you want. You wanted it to be a ranged attack that they could potentially dodge out of. I'm going to move it so now it's increased range. So it's now a ranged ability, which is going to cost an additional 1 per rank. 1 point per rank. You're rank 10, so it costs you an extra 10 points to do that. It now costs you 20 power points for this ability.
Okay.
And that actually might be all you need for now for that one. So other things that you can do, it's if you didn't want to do increased range, if you want to do perception, it's actually the same cost. So you can grab anybody that's in your line of sight, you automatically hit them.
Except that Daniel doesn't want you to do range perception.
GM said no. And then thing of Mutants and Masterminds, there are some it's extremely easy to break systems, so the GM has to be very what he allows his players to do.
Okay, so I've played this, but it's been a long time, like years since I've actually made a character. So obviously, I'm trying to do my best not to create a character that's going to break his game.
Yep.
So the other part is this. I want this game to feel like it belongs in MCU, and every single one of the characters, to include Vision, is not 100% hitting the right thing every time you can have a machine.
What are we talking about? He hit roll him straight on.
You
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No worries. So I'm not a big fan of auto hitting either. So if it saves me points, not auto hit, by all means, I can roll to hit. Not a big thing. Or or would it be cheaper to have it as touch? I'm just curious.
So touch is the cheapest. If you did touch, it would cost you 10 points. If you do range, it'll cost you 20 points. And I misspoke earlier. If I increase this to perception, it now will cost you 30 points.
Okay.
Of your 150.
Gotcha.
I think you're better off just sticking with the dodge, and we'll call it good there. We'll probably come back to this ability, but we'll leave it as that. Okay, you also wanted to have the ability to let it increase your own stats. So before we can figure that out, let's go look at your abilities themselves and kind of see where we want these points to be.
So I am average human, apparently. By having zeros on everything.
Yes. And I actually, yeah. So right now, because you've not increased any of them, you're completely average.
Correct.
I also found, like I said, I found a rogue build that I'm completely copying off of. And
by all means, copy it.
So I'm going to throw some numbers in here to how this person sees rogue would look, and then we can adjust it to what you want from there. So this is rogue according to the person that I'm blatantly stealing from. So at strength 2, she's able to lift 200 pounds. Just naturally not counting her powers yet. Stamina 2 means that her toughness is 2. She's got a little bit of ability to shake things off. She's pretty agile, so she's good at dodging attacks coming at her.
Okay.
And initiative, acrobatics, stealth, feats of coordination, yada yada yada.
Gotcha.
Kind of dexterous, so she's decent at ranged attacks. Fighting, so she's pretty good at melee attacks and parrying melee attacks. Intellect, awareness, and presence from there. I figure we can leave that as a baseline, and then we can go through and edit from there as you see fit. Is there anything that you want to change right off the bat?
Oh, just to see like what her powers do to because I know Rogue can fly. Is like, was it Miss Marvel's powers?
So you want the ability to fly, so I'm going to put that in here real quick. So I'm just going to grab flight.
And her like toughness would also be a boon. Since I don't want to from like the first encounter.
Oh, so you've played in Dan's games before?
Known Dan for years, so yes.
Okay, skipping to flight for a second. So at flight rank 1, you can fly. You're flying at 4 miles an hour, 60 feet per round. Do you want to be faster than that?
Than 4 miles an hour? Yeah. That sounds like I'm flying as fast as I could walk.
Let's see. So let's see. This one says for Miss Marvel's powers, we'll do a flight rank 6, which gives you 120 miles an hour or 1,800 feet per round.
That sounds acceptable.
Okay.
Unless we're gonna have some type of vehicle to pal around in.
Not that I'm aware of yet.
Because I'm not sure what
I'm
not sure what everyone else's character is and stuff.
So part of what I'm going to be discussing tonight is the background and what you guys are and what you're doing, and that will allow for that. You will have a vehicle.
So I don't basically need to fly, is what you're saying?
You don't need to. It does allow a little bit more freedom.
No, I got you. I'm not saying let's not fly.
I'm really liking the 4 mile an hour flight for you personally.
You mean the hover ability? Yeah. Wow, Dan, that was awesome. I was gonna say something grossly inappropriate before I saw your hand go across the screen.
What I've done while you were talking was I added in a couple other powers that you've mentioned.
I see
so
that.
Right now you have your energy, your ranged weaken ability. So you're reducing somebody's health.
Gotcha.
I also gave you a quick enhanced stamina and an enhanced strength, as well as your toughness, so more protection from your armor. All three of them, I gave the modifier fades, which is every time that you use it, it goes down. You get a little less powerful. So that maybe you'll start at rank 10, and then the next round you'll be at rank 9, the next round you'll be at rank 8, you'll be at rank 7, yada yada yada, until you energy absorb, weaken somebody else, and then you can come back up to full.
Okay.
Assuming Dan's cool with it that way.
And that saves saves points doing it that way?
Yeah.
Or
It
just
does.
makes it
So
really
it
balanced?
saves you. So your stamina is normally 2 power points per rank, but because it's fading, it's reduced by 1 per rank for a total of 1 per rank.
Gotcha.
So if I give you rank 10, it'll only cost you 10. Without fades, it would have cost you 20.
And if there's a specific one that you want to fade slower, then you can take, and it will cost you some more points, but you can make it fade slower over time. So, for example, if you don't want to stop flying because you haven't recharged, you haven't absorbed from somebody, you might want to make that one go slower. It's going to cost you more points, but it will reduce slower than the rest.
All right, so how many points do I currently have right now?
So based off the abilities that you have... Oh, I missed one. It should be a 10. So you're at now 12 strength, 12 stamina because they're enhanced.
Okay.
You're at 10 toughness. Ooh, I got to fix that. Oh, because of that, yeah. I don't actually need you there. I doubled it up. You are currently... You have spent 90 and you've got 60 power points left. So right now your flight is not fading, so I consider that an innate ability of yours, so that won't go away. But you have to weaken somebody to become... increase your stamina and your strength. So
explain to me what I can do with a stamina of was that you said 12? Sorry, it's kind of hard to read on the screen.
So currently your stamina is 12. So the
or
way
strength
that
is 12, whichever. Yeah.
So combat in Mutants Masterminds works a little bit different than in other games. In this round, in this version, this game, the attacker is going to roll 1d20 plus their modifier to hit. Right now, I'm going to upgrade it later, but right now your energy absorb is only a +1 to hit. That's not very good. Your unarmed is currently a +6. That's going to be governed by either your dexterity or fighting, depending on if it's melee or ranged.
Okay.
If the attacker hits, it is assumed that you are always hitting for max damage. So in other games, you roll to see how much damage you do. In this game, it's static. It's assumed you're always going to hit for max. So instead, the defender is going to roll 1d20 plus their toughness. If they can, or just see if they're
repeat that,
able to save from
12. You cut out for a second.
Sorry. So your toughness, the defender is going to roll 1d20 plus your toughness to see if you can resist the effect of the attack. If you roll pretty crappy, then you end up taking a lot of damage. That's how that's kind of governed. With a toughness of 12, you're actually pretty high on the scale, so you may be hit a little bit more often, but those hits aren't going to do a lot of damage because you're pretty tough.
Gotcha.
Just like the power level limit, your modifier to hit and your modifier to damage can sum to no higher than twice the power level. Your ability to your defense, your dodge or your parry, plus your toughness can also not exceed twice the power level. But you can be super hard to hit, but if you're hit, you take a crap ton of damage. Or you can be easy to hit and take little to no damage, or you can be anywhere kind of in between. Okay. So in this case, right now, you're kind of skewed towards the armor side, but it's not a very heavy skew.
Okay.
And it also helps your fortitude, so you can resist poisons, diseases, people trying to control your body from physical means, that kind of thing. Like a constitution save.
Gotcha.
So you have a really good constitution save and a really good armor because of your increased stamina. Your increased strength means that when you punch somebody, you're going to punch them but maybe not at the highest accuracy. So that's what I've got.
So I have 60 points left, and that's powers.
We need
so
to
now I
get
need
your
skills and feats.
Yes, and before we get too far from powers, I want to make sure that your weaken ability is a little bit better than a +1 to hit.
By all means,
it is currently based off of your dexterity, so there's a couple different ways that we can make that better. I can say that the power itself is innately accurate. So it's not, you're not skilled, you're not trained in it, just the power is accurate in itself. Don't really think that's going to apply in this case, so I'm not super worried about it. If I go to skills, I can say that you're extensively well trained with this weapon.
Okay.
So this particular weapon, your weaken attack, you're trained in, you know how it works, you know how to use it, you're pretty accurate with it that way. So that would be an increase it from skills. 1 power point gives you +2 to hit.
Okay.
Or I can go to make it an advantage. Now you're good at ranged things. Guns, bazookas, this thing, anything that's a weapon that you shoot, you can be really good at hitting. So in this case, I think the skill makes a little bit more sense.
It does.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
So
I'm not Deadpool.
Right. So I'm going to go to skills. Your ranged combat skill, I'm going to say you're really good at the energy absorb weapon, and I'm going to give you a couple to hit. So let's see, you're currently +1. Nope, too far. Okay, so you're currently now a +10 to hit. I can see it's over there. And if you hit, they're going to take a fortitude check to see if they can resist your ability. Based off how crappy they roll on the resist check, you can reduce their stamina down, which will hopefully reduce both their fortitude and armor. So the next time that somebody potentially hit for more,
Okay.
or they'll have a harder time resisting. So we did our powers. Is there any other powers that you want to add, or think that you can do?
So you have the weaken, and you tie that in fluff-wise to have that increases my strength and stamina.
Yep.
So I'm weakened basically by like someone and using this attack. And so how do I hurt someone with the weaken ability?
So right now, punching them.
Okay, I like it.
Do you want to have another ability?
Give me
Do you want to have
suggestions.
eyes? Do you want to have laser eyes?
That sounds retarded. I hate Cyclops. He's a stupid character.
I was going to say Cyclops.
I mean, he's awesome.
Sorry, I think punching makes sense for what you're trying to do, so I think we're probably good. If you want to do something else later, just let me know. We can come back.
Sure.
So I'm going to...
Before we move on, I had some questions. So, being able to like store the energy and redirect the energy, which I think we have some fluff, which I like about me storing it. Now with this, as far as how hit points work and everything, and because I was thinking of like having the ability to aid one of you guys to like heal you guys if you guys get jacked up or whatever, and I wasn't sure how that would work.
Well,
if that would take a lot more power points, or
so let's do a healing effect.
Okay.
And we're not heal or ranged heal.
Joe's cheaper at this point.
Touch is cheap. So you have to touch them.
Oh, I think like since I'm like we're starting off, kind of low, we can go with touch, and then I can develop it further into distance or whatever. And since I can fly
Since we're
pretty
starting
fast,
low, is that what you said?
well, I mean, like I'm not like we're not starting as gods, so I'm not trying to be ridiculous.
Yeah, no. We are starting at normal superhero level.
Yeah,
You
I
are
don't know
starting
what level
at
that is.
Iron Man in Iron Man 1, Captain America and Captain America First Avenger.
Okay.
Like, you're starting at those locations.
Okay.
Daniel, that link you gave me, can you send me a link? Because for some reason it's asking me to create an account rather than add it to my list of games.
All right,
Anthony?
so, yep, I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear.
All right, so I gave you a healing ability. Right now, it is a touch heal, so you have to touch the person.
Yep.
And instead of, so normally, you would roll 120 plus your healing,
Okay.
and based off how well you roll, determines how many hit points are healed.
Okay.
In this case, I put a limit on that. The amount that the actual rank is not 10, as you pay for. The rank is equal to the amount that you have weakened the other person's stamina by.
Okay.
So you reduce their stamina, you can turn around and put this same amount of power into somebody else.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I like that.
Weaken rank is lower.
So how does can you explain how like damage works so I make sure that this sounds exactly what I want, but I want to make sure I understand like how damage works in this game? 'Cause it's been a while.
In this game, it's all based off degrees of success. So
Okay.
let's say you wanted to punch yourself. Because I have the numbers in front of me, I can just use them as a quick reference.
Sure.
So if you were to try to punch yourself, I would look to see what is your unarmed modifier. So you would roll 1d20 plus 6. The
Nick,
defender...
Because my fighting ability, is that right?
Correct. So currently it's governed by your fighting ability. We
Okay.
put no ranks and no skills for it, and we put no advantages for it. So
Okay.
right now you're plus 6 to hit in melee attack. So 1d20 plus 6 versus the defender's parry. Difficulty class, just a little bit, they just assume 10 plus defense. So your difficulty class will be 10 plus the applicable defense. You're going to roll 1d20 plus 6 versus a 16 in this case. If you will exceed 16, you hit. So then you go to see how much damage you do. Well, your unarmed is a strength of 12, but because you're always hitting at full blast, you assume you always do the same amount of damage. The defender is going to roll to see if he can resist your damage. So he's going to roll 1d20 plus toughness of 12 versus your attack difficulty class, which is strength plus 15. We'll get used to the numbers as we go. In this case, it's a 27. Strength 12 plus 15 equals 7. 1d20 plus 12 is a 27. Now, the degrees of failure or degrees of success play. Now, what these are is it's not a 1-for-1. Well, a 25, it's a difference of 2 damage. Now, that's not this game. So in this case, you take what the DC was minus what you rolled. So let's say you rolled a total of a 24.
Okay.
So it was less than 27, so you were able to resist all of the attack, but you resist some of it. So 27 minus is a total of 3. Degrees of success are multiples of 5. Okay. So you take whatever you rolled, so 3 is your difference, round up to the nearest multiple of 5, then divide by 5. So in this case, you round up to 5, divide by 5, 1. So you have 1 degree of success. Or 1 degree of failure, depending on whose point of view you're looking at. So there's 1 degree of damage that happens to you. With 1 degree of damage, do I have... Right here. It's damage condition track. With 1 degree damage, you get a bruise. For every time you get 1 degree damage, you get an additional bruise. A bruise gives you a -1 to every d20 that you roll.
Okay.
To avoid a -1 toughness. So for every bruise you have, you're at -1 toughness, -1. As soon as you take a second degree, then you're dazed. The third degree, you're staggered. At 4, if you ever roll and you get 4 degrees of failure, then you're incapacitated and dying.
Okay.
So you can be pumped all day long, but if you're only ever getting 1 degree of success, 1 degree of failure, you're just going to have bruises, but you're never going to be dazed, be staggered, never be incapacitated, because you've only had 1 degrees.
How do you go from being from category 1 to daze? Is that because you have to get like 10 above toughness? Is that right?
So this is 2 degrees of success. So when you rolled 1d20 plus toughness, you rolled it came to a total of 20. So you rolled an 8 plus 12 comes 20. 27 minus 20 is round up. The nearest multiple of 5 takes you to 10. Divide by 5 is 2. So you have 2 degrees of that attack. You are now dazed. And then you're dazed until you get healed. Your next couple attacks, they might only be 1 degree attack. Okay. It might be a 3 degree attack. So they're not necessarily in order. It's every attack you get, look to see where on the chart did it put you. If you ever take a 4 degree, you're in trouble. Go ahead.
No, I got you. Okay. So now back to power. So I have my weaken ability. And so how would that work with attacking? Just trying to make sure I understand what my ability is.
Okay, so for your weaken ability, so this is a ranged attack. So you're going to roll 1d20 plus 10 to hit. The defender is going to look at their dodge of 3, add 10 for the difficulty class of a 13. So you're going to roll 1d20 plus your 10 to hit versus a DC of 13. You're probably going to hit, which means you probably need to increase your dodge later. Yeah, you've hit. So now the defender is going to roll a DC 20 fortitude check. So they're going to roll 1d20 plus fortitude and against a DC of 20. Weaken is the one that it's the one power that doesn't follow the rules for all of the other powers.
Of course not, because I wanted it.
Right. And I went through the whole explanation of the degrees of success. Doesn't apply to weaken. The weaken works a little bit differently. Yeah. So they're going to roll 1d20 plus fortitude versus the DC of 20. Let's say you roll a 5 for a total of a 17. 20 minus 17 is 3, a difference of 3. They would reduce their stamina by 3 power points. Stamina costs 2 power points per rank, so they would go down, I don't remember if it's a round up or round down, but their stamina would then drop by 1, which means their armor save goes down. And their fortitude save goes down.
And so eventually it would go down to basically 0, and I'd basically kill them.
I would check with Dan, but I would imagine that happens. I don't remember what happens if your stamina hits. No, if your stamina, anybody's stamina can be 0. Your stamina can go negative. All that means is that your armor, your toughness, and fortitude are going to get so low that you might 5 or something. So 1d20 5 against a DC of 27.
So there's a better chance to get incapacitated.
Much higher chance of getting down there. And I should also say this only works for player characters or named villains. Mooks, they only 1 degree will kill them off.
Gotcha. So I could basically absorb their
1 degree will knock them out,
and they just collapse basically. Yep. Gotcha. Okay, so gotcha. So I like my powers.
So I want to talk to your healing for a second there.
Sure.
So the way that it's written right now, so if you had weakened, you reduced them by their stamina by 3 power points. Right now your healing pool, I guess, is at 3. So your now healing is rank 3. If you heal somebody else, you're going to roll 1d20 plus 3 versus the healing static DC is 10. For every degree of success that you get on that check, you uncheck one of the worst box going up.
No,
So
I
if you
got you.
get 3 degrees of success, then you start removing all of these conditions against your
And so, how do you
friends.
get a degree of success? So, like, say, I rolled, let's say, a 10. So 10 plus 3 is 13.
So
right?
13, static DC of 10 for a healing check. 13 minus 10 is a 3. Round up to the nearest multiple of
You're trying to
5.
drop out again.
Is 5. 5 by 5 is 1.
Okay.
Success. So you got a 5, a 5, divide by 5, 1. So you've got 1 degree of success. So you be able to uncheck the bottom one
Yeah,
box.
I got you. So basically, if I run a 13, that would be 1 degree of success, meaning that I could heal one category.
Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. Say the last part again.
So by rolling a 13, that would give me one version or one success, which means I'd be able to erase the most heinous degree.
The most severe.
Yeah, I got you. Most severe.
Ray Daniel's
I like
talking
heinous,
to you
but...
in Rabbit Chat, just FYI.
That's all the beeping that I'm hearing.
I didn't hear anything.
He's trying to get...
Okay, was there anything that I needed? Okay, so that's how heal
I'm
works.
setting up the roll 27.
Okay.
Yeah, so you do your weekend, gives you a healing pool that you can use heal as well. If you use all of your points, so this is your what do you want question.
Okay.
So you weaken somebody, you have that pool. Right now that pool is fueling both healing power and your enhanced stamina strength.
Okay.
This might be a question for Dan and you to figure out how you want to handle that. Do you want to say just having power points in the pool means that you've got enhanced stamina strength, so as soon as you heal, those points are gone, you've lost your stamina strength? That would be a philosophical question for the two of you.
Yeah,
Personally, I think it's fair.
How quickly you want the to degrade. Like if he absorbs a bunch of stuff and then turns and uses it to heal somebody else, does he still have the enhanced stamina and it goes down on the schedule, or it's all gone at that point? And...
However much he heals, that's how much he goes down.
Okay, so then what about the enhanced stamina strength? So let's say he weakens somebody for 3 power points. Would he still be at stamina strength 10? As written, I would say yes, but that's up to the two of you and how you see the power.
Didn't you put it on a reducing schedule?
Yeah, it's on fades, so I would say he has it. So he has enhanced stamina strength 10 as long as he's got power points in his pool. As soon as he spends those points to do a healing check, now he's empty. His fuel tank is gone. He has to weaken to get those abilities back. But how much strength and how much stamina he's going to gain is not dependent on his weaken roll.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
So just the fact that I used weaken, I would get it all back, or?
Yeah, you go.
I'll help you on it. That's a good question.
Yeah, because basically, if I'm understanding Andrew right, you'll use it, you'll get max stamina and strength, and then as long as you use it, you'll have a max stamina and strength. But then if you turn to heal somebody, you'll be at 0, so you won't have the stamina and strength again.
That seems pretty balanced. Where do you go?
He fell off the internet.
I'm still there. Can you still see me? You hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Not
we can't
see
see
you.
you.
You're the Phoenix logo.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
There.
Perfect.
So real quick, Mark,
Yes.
what does the link tell you?
Unauthorized. You're not logged in, which I am, which is weird.
Because Ray's in.
Yeah, I know. And that other version of me, I accepted it, And so I'm in there, but when I do it, it now tells
Because
me
I
not
kicked
not
the
authorized.
Gamer's Ledge version of, and then re-admitted you to Vault 99.
Hold on, let me sign out, sign in. Maybe for some reason it was caching my Gamer's Ledge version. No, it still says not authorized. What the hell? My account. Yes, that's fine. My profile. I'll tell you in a minute if this... Yeah, so the correct one is not authorized to access the game.
That's called a feature.
It's called Daniel's par for the day for technology. And mine, apparently.
I mean, it's showing you as a player.
See, when
Why
I go
it's
to
not letting you add more?
when I go to the My Games list, I'm not. It's not there. I have the Age of Worms, my Thursday game, Star Trek Dissonance, and my Keep on the Shadowfell, and that's it. Is there a way that I can join a game through the site? Join the game through the site?
Using that link.
Okay, let me try using that link.
And if the game is discoverable, you can do an advanced search. And then just search
Yeah, that's what I was
hosted
thinking.
by-
Okay, I'll launch the
Time.
game here. Let me see which
All right,
version
so
of me it is.
I get into the game then.
You go to your Yahoo and you should have an
Nope,
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
it's the wrong version of me.
still doesn't let you, Mark. So
It's
now,
the-
Mark, you're actually in.
That's the wrong version of me. That's the Gamer's Ledge one. I don't know why. Even though I'm signing in with the correct login and password, it's caching me as the wrong one. Because I should be a picture of a red-haired guy, and not my picture. So how do I? Okay, if I say exit game, and then how do I remove myself from this game completely? Can you do that?
Yeah.
All right. So I got to the email, and it took me to D20, but it didn't take me to any room or anything.
Are you logged in?
It'll take
Yeah.
you to the main screen. We'll have to sign in, and then
It has me logged in.
Okay, I'm gonna delete this other account. So give me 1 second. My profile.
So
I just
I'm
kicked
logged
you.
in. It says Nicholas B.
Go to games.
Games. Join a game.
Do you see some Masterminds? But don't click on it. However,
It says My Games, create a new game, join a game.
does it have any game examples off to the right?
It says Age of Worms is the only thing it has. That sounds awesome. Whatever that was.
That is not good. It deleted all my accounts.
All of your accounts?
Yeah. Yep. Fudge.
How?
Because I made
So,
sure
geez.
I clicked on my games, and it was not the same profile as my Vault 99 one, and now that I've deleted it, I cannot get back in.
So
So it's showing me
very well together.
as you. Oh. Shit.
Do we have a gaming group title to
Oh.
search for?
Did you try clicking the link in the rabbit window?
Okay, let's see who this is. Nope. So now I'm somehow back in under the one that I deleted. And all my other ones are gone. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Exit game.
Anthony, do nothing. We have not been. This virus has not yet hit our systems. Yet.
Don't.
All
my game.
F4ing. We're bouncing right now.
So can you guys see the character sheets in the journal?
There's a journal.
In when you actually get into Roll20.
Okay, so I have Roll20 up. I don't understand how I get into your game.
So did you try the link in the Rabbit window?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it just takes me to D20. It doesn't take me into the actual game.
right. That
It
was
just
the
takes me to the
problem.
website.
That was the problem I was having as well.
Do you have multiple accounts, Nick?
No, I have the one I created like an hour ago.
And Dan, the answer to your question is yes. I can see the character sheets and the handouts.
Okay, I'll sort my stuff about this later.
All right, Nick.
Yep.
I'm gonna cancel your invite.
Sure.
And try some new invite.
Okay.
In the meantime, are you guys done with your character creation?
No. So I think we have the power set.
About 60%. So
right,
I missed what you said earlier. What was the just on how his enhanced stamina strength is set up?
So what is his normal strength and stamina?
2 and 2.
So whenever he weakens anyone, the theory is he jumps 8 in strength and stamina.
10 each. Jumps to 12.
Oh, shit.
And that adjusted. 10 is my 2 number for a baseline.
Is there a maximum?
20, because then you're hit for 20 and your toughness is 20. You could very well say
accuracy is 0, right?
correct. So you could be within your right to say the amount that he weakens, however many power points that he weakens, those same points can be applied to either strength or stamina. I think might be a little bit weak. I personally think leaving it as a SAM strength fades, and then he just needs to have to weaken speed to maintain it is probably fair, but that's up to the two ideas.
What's fade? What's fade?
I'm fine
Is
with
that
it.
every round?
So every round his strength stamina is reduced by 1 until he does whatever energy source required to bring the fades back to 0. Or you know what I mean, to recharge.
So, say for fluff wise, I spend something like a point from the pool, and from that first, and if my pool's empty, then it's actually lowering.
So what's this?
So that if I heal somebody,
so it's kind of he uses his weaken ability. He rolls 120, or excuse me, it's the victim to roll 1d20 plus fortitude versus a DC of 20 for every number that he loses by. So a 17 versus a 20 is a 3. The victim's stamina is reduced by 3 power points. So it is a pool of 3.
And then how does he use those to heal people?
So I have his healing power set up that instead of being a static healing rank 10, it is limited to healing rank equal to the power points he wants to spend, or 10, whichever is lower. Personally, I don't think he's going to be getting very many power points out of Weaken. Maybe 3 or 4 per round is what I'm going to guess. 4 or 5. Every time he uses it, he's going to get 4 or 5 power points.
So I'm fine with right now it taking from your pool and then starting to weaken. That should be fine.
okay.
Cool. So you guys have that set up. I'm going to put that as a complication just so I remember it. So power loss. It's enhanced. cool. So I've got that complication set there. So we've got your weaken, you got your strength stam, you got your flight, and you have the ability to touch heal somebody.
Yeah, either myself or someone else, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And you do still have lots of power points left too, so don't think you're too scrapped yet. It's fun stuff.
Skills, advantages, defenses.
Yep. So let's do defenses first because those tend to be harder limits. So as I mentioned before, the power level cap, whatever your dodge is, plus your toughness cannot exceed twice the power level. Right now, at full strength, your toughness is a 12, so which means your dodge and parry can be no higher than 8. Otherwise, you'd be breaking the caps, and that you can't do. So I would increase your dodge up to 8, and I would take your parry up to 8. So now you're skewed a little bit towards the armor side, so you're a little bit easier to hit, but when you're hit, you're going to take a little bit less damage, assuming your stamina is at full strength.
Okay.
Additionally, your fortitude, which is your body saves, and your willpower, which is mental saves, can also not exceed that same 20. So bringing them up, so your defenses are maxed out now. Just those should be dedicated power points. Your defenses are maxed.
Okay, so how many points do I have left?
So you are now left to 32 points. Okay, so skills. Can you read this from here?
Kinda. Close combat.
Okay. So acrobatics tied to your agility. So it's acrobatics, athletics, yada yada yada. Combat. Choose one thing. So let's make this unarmed right off the bat because that needs to get up there as well. So now you're an 8-12, so you hit your power level cap as you should. Deception, for the knowledge skills.
So I hit my power level cap by. Okay, hold on. So like raising my combat to +8 because something is.
8
because
plus
my
12.
Okay.
Right. So accuracy plus your strength.
That works.
So you're capped out on that. Deception, you got expertise, insight. Insight, like a sense motive. Intimidation, intimidation, perception, persuasion, ranged combat, sleight of hand, stealth, technology, treatment, which is like a medical, your ability to apply to first aid skill, and vehicles, your driving skills. So those are the different skills. For every rank, so 2 power points, excuse me, 1 power point will get you 2 skill ranks. So where do you want to go? And I've got Ruby up in front of me and just start filling in hers, or you can just declare what you want.
All right. Yeah, you can go start filling hers, and then I'll see what you're doing. Say yay or nay.
Okay. So find where the tab she's on. I like the other one better. Okay, so she's got that there. So deception of +2. So now she tries to deceive somebody. It'll be +4 versus their applicable save. Whatever the deception save is. Expertise. So she was a criminal, so she knows kind of how that world works. Not as familiar with that side of the house, but sure. Inside, 3 ranks. Say again?
What is that thing you just added?
The insight?
Hey guys.
No, the one right above it.
Or the expertise. What's up, Dan?
I'm sorry, that's me. For tonight.
You still need to mute roll 20. Oh,
I
unless
need to
you're
what?
mute roll 20 because you're echoing. Because it's
Oh,
picking up in
oh.
both places.
Oh my. Okay, so Anthony, so you said expertise?
Alright, good night, Dan.
Good night, Dan.
I'll see what I got when we're done.
Yeah, very much. I appreciate it. I have all the character sheets in Roll20 ready to go, so I can start putting those in. I'm also planning on getting tokens done. The first actual game will be in February. Next Tuesday, we'll be going over history, answering questions, and helping build a realistic SU world for the between Avengers Infinity War and where we are currently.
Sweet.
Sounds good. So we're again same time next week.
Yep.
That works for me.
Are you out, Ray?
Yeah, I figure out. Yeah, I'll bounce out to you. I've got early day tomorrow as well. So
Okay.
if you guys
No
need
problem.
anything else from me, I will. I mean, you got character backgrounds, but look in that next week. But Anthony has my sheet and all my information. So
Yep.
let's go from there.
Perfect. Thanks, Ray. Have a
Yeah,
good
no
Have a
night.
good night, man.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Well,
See you.
next week.
Yeah. See you
Later.
then.
Okay, back to the Anthony.
So expertise is like a knowledge skill. It's something that you know about, physics or
And so-
streetwise.
What have me knowledgeable in?
So this was criminal. So how criminals work, the criminal world. I actually don't really like that expertise very much.
I don't like it either.
So I might call it streetwise. You know how the streets work? You know how to that size? Or we can just leave it blank and you can kind of come up with something later.
Okay. So what would be like the choices for that?
So it's just like a knowledge skill. So it's whatever, anything that you want to be knowledgeable in. Astronomy, physics, car mechanics.
What's the background of your character? What did he do?
Computer
for a living
engineering.
before he became a superhero, or what's his 9 to 5? That'd be something that you might take an expertise in.
Okay, I gotcha. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the character or the book on what it says about expertise.
Okay. So for expertise things, you roll 1d20 plus your expertise if it's something that you feel your character should know something about. And depending on how you roll, Dan might give you more information.
Let's go.
And you can have as many different expertises as you want. I just have to add additional ones. It's fine.
Let's go medicine. I think that'll fit my character.
So we could. Where'd she go?
There you are.
So maybe your MCU version of Sebastian Shaw was an EMT or a doctor, and that's why he's got so many.
Yeah, I was thinking that like I'd be an EMT when my powers awoken, as it was.
Perfect.
So are you a mutant? Or how did you get your powers? Is it a piece of technology that you keep with you?
No,
Like a
I'd be a
super
mutant.
suit?
A mutant.
You're a mutant? Okay.
Yeah, definitely a mutant.
Alrighty.
Because like the way Dan was describing it when I was talking to him and reading the stuff that he sent out, when the snap happened, all that energy went somewhere, and so all of us that got hit by that energy, it changed us. So some of us it changed like and activated our mutant gene or whatever, and other people it made them smart, so they were techie or however you wanted to explain that.
Mm-hmm. So you have the power to pull in somebody's life force, made in yourself to increase your own ability, and to give that life force to somebody else as well. So you can. I think that's pretty fitting as an EMT.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Expertise medicine means that you know about the different kinds of medicine. You've read the textbooks. You've taken the courses. It is a knowledge medicine.
Gotcha.
Once we get found a treatment, it'll be the ability to apply it. So let's see. So insight is your ability to sense motive.
Okay.
Intimidation, she was up to +7. So she can be pretty intimidating when she wants to be.
Okay.
Nothing at investigation. So perception.
So perception, like
should probably be a little
Pathfinder.
higher.
Yeah. So like I was saying, so in Pathfinder or D&D, perception is like the best skill, the most used skill ever. So I wasn't sure about that in this game. You put it pretty high, so I'm assuming it's pretty used still a lot. I'm guessing.
So that's up to the GM, and I think normally that is true. Perception is still really highly used. I would also say that as an EMT, you have to be able to understand what's going on, to see the needle marks, to see how somebody's acting. So I might actually increase your insight as well to understand the person that you're trying to treat.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
To see what's going on with them. So your insight is pretty high. Your perception is really high because of that.
Sounds like a plan.
Her persuasion was only a 2. That might want to be a little bit higher as well, so that you can sweet talk somebody into doing what you want them to do. Convince them to get in the ambulance or whatever.
Gotcha.
So sleight of hand's got nothing. Stealth. She's a little stealthy. And this is things that you've learned maybe from before you were a mutant, or things that you learned after you became a mutant. So maybe if you went to the Professor X's, the Xavier Institute, maybe they taught you some things there that you've learned. Or maybe you never joined them and you just learned something from whatever other superhero group you ran with.
Okay.
Or whatever. Okay, so nothing for sleight of hand. Stealth was a little bit. Technology, so you would probably be pretty good with technology, so I'll give you a couple ranks there.
Okay.
Treatment, you'd probably be pretty good with that. You know how to give first aid to somebody. That just makes sense.
That jumped up a lot. So you put it all the way to 10 then, or is that 11? I can't read it.
So right now I put 9 ranks.
Okay.
Which ties to your intellect of 1 to give you a +10 to any treatment roll that you make. And vehicles, you know how to drive the ambulance. Okay, so that is your skills as you're at. So right now you're not very acrobatic.
Okay.
But your athletics are pretty good, so you are pretty high, mostly because your stamina and your strength is really high. Good close combat, you're okay at deceiving. I'm going to bump this up a little bit, so your expertise medicine's a little bit better. Insight, you perceive and you understand what people are saying, and you understand the environment. Your intimidation's pretty good. Might bring that down a little bit, because you don't need to be that high. You're not really good at investigating, so you're not a crime scene.
Yeah.
Perception's pretty high. Persuasion's is okay. Range combat's pretty decent. Stealth is okay. Your ability to use computers is okay. Treatment's pretty high. Yeah, so I think your skills are looking good. Is there anything that you want to change you can see here?
So what is acrobatics used for?
Acrobatics is balancing, maneuvering.
Are you like Daredevil?
No, I gotcha.
Tumble.
So would that affect my dodging, or would I want ranks in that? That's the only one I had any concerns with.
It is not. Doesn't affect any defensive.
Okay.
That would be like. I think it's effectively the same. Acrobatics. Is it acrobatics in the other games? I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have athletics or acrobatics in the same.
Yeah, so there's no real difference.
One's a display of strength versus the other one's a display of agility.
Yep, and that's exactly the same for you see here. In this case, you're very agile, but you are very strong, so you can push through that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay. So would I need to have one ranks in it to help me out, or I'm not sure how that
Sure, I'll put a couple. We'll put a rank in there. We'll give you a little bit of acrobatic so you have something, because that's now that you mentioned it, that are those skills that cannot be used trained. So I'm going to give you a couple ranks, and it just kind of makes sense. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So that's your skills. So now we'll go to your advantages. So advantages cost 1 power point per advantage. You have 6 power points left, so you can take 6 advantages, or we can go reduce power from somewhere else to give you more points to spend here. There's a lot of options on this one. I'm going to skim through some of the ones I think might help. Accurate attack. You can take a penalty to your damage to gain the same bonus to ability to hit. So up to -5 damage to up to +5 to hit. Agile feint. I don't recommend that one. All out attack. So you can take a penalty to your defenses, so your dodge parry, to add to your ability to hit. Make sure I have it right. Yeah. So you become more accurate at the cost of you're easier to hit for other people. If there's one that you want, just yell out and I'll add it, and we come back and remove if we go too far. Animal empathy. You can talk to animals. You don't create that. No, assessment. You can size up your opponent, do an insight check, and to figure out if somebody is stronger than you, or faster than you, or is dodgier, or whatever. So you kind of understand how your opponent fights. Attractive. Gain a bonus to perception if the person you're talking to thinks you could be attractive. Beginner's luck. Spend a hero point to gain ranks and skills that you don't have a lot of ranks in. Various benefits. You get alternate identity, ambidextrous. Your history is super hidden. Like nobody can pull up any information about you. Maybe none of those really work. You can be wealthy. Let's see, chokehold. If you successfully grab somebody, you can start applying as chokehold, might suffocate them in a very long time. If you can hold the grab for like minutes. Close attack, you're good with any sort of melee weapon. Connected, you know people, so you can call in favors. Contacts, you know people that know things, so you can call them in and have them explain things to you. Cool, kids think that you're cool, and so you can get bonuses to social modifiers with them.
Okay, so hold on. So for close attacks, I would have a +1 bonus to close attack checks per rank in this advantage.
Yes.
So that would make it.
So if every time you take this advantage,
my total attack bonus.
So right now, your close attack bonus is a +8 for your unarmed.
Okay.
If you were to pick up a sword, you're not really trained on how to use a sword. So you would just use your fighting ability, which is a 6. So you could be a +6 with a sword, or a club, or a hammer, or a rock that you're bashing somebody's head in. You'll be +6 to hit. But as soon as you use your fists, you know how to use your fists, you're +8. With close attack, you're increasing your ability to hit in melee with anything.
Yeah, for armed or unarmed.
Correct.
So instead of
unarmed.
+8, it would be +9 or whatever.
Right, except that your unarmed +8 plus your strength is already capped at 20. So if you were to take close ranks in your unarmed, so that it's 20, which is fine.
Oh,
it's a couple more power points.
So would that?
Go ahead.
Well, would it be cheaper to take close attack or to keep it as is? I'm just.
Right now, it's cheaper, saying that you're good with unarmed attacks and you're not good with a sword. If you want to be equally as good with a sword and unarmed attack, it'll cost you a little bit more power points.
No, I could care less with swords.
Okay.
No, I understand.
Yes. So you don't really need that one. Daze is like you do a deception check in combat, and if you win, the target is dazed for a round. In this case, it says use perception, use intimidation. I don't think that's really fitting too much for your character. Defensive attack, you can take a -5 to hit to get +5 for dodge or parry, and that limit. So like right now, your dodge parry is an 8 versus your toughness of 12. Then up to 20. If you do a defensive attack, you're -5 to hit, but you can do +5 to your dodge parry. So you would be a 13 dodge, 12 toughness for the next round. Makes you a little bit harder to hit. Die hard. If you hit the dying condition, you don't need to stabilize. You automatically stabilize. And it sounds fitting to your character because you've got that energy in you.
It does.
But actually, I'm going to move that then to this. I will say that as one of your powers, you have the advantage. Die hard.
Is that just cheaper to do it that way, or?
I think it's more fitting to your concept. So you have Die Hard as long as you have a pool. So actually, I don't think it's going to change the point total at all.
Because it's limited or whatever?
Right.
So instead of having it all the time, now you only have it and you have a weakened pool. So it would be cheaper, except that it's only 1 point, and if of 1 is still 1. So in this case, it didn't matter. But I think it makes more sense that way. Alright, so where were we? So that was Die Hard, which I already took. Disarming. People think you're a cute puppy dog and don't think that you are threatening, so they don't care about you too much. Eidetic Memory. You get +5 bonus to remember things. Evasion. You're good at dodging area attacks. Extra effort. When you use the extra effort thing, which we talked about, Dan talked about a long time ago at the beginning of the night, you can do it twice per turn instead of once. So you can get an alternate effect of your power, which really isn't too much of. Probably not something you really care about. Fascinate, so you can use any of those things to fascinate somebody to do a small combat effect. Fast grab. If you hit somebody with an unarmed attack, you can, after you do the damage, you can also use that as a grab check to initiate like a wrestling grab, if you want to do that way. So anytime you punch, it could also be grab if you want. Might be something worth for you considering. Favorite environment. Is there a particular environment that you are excited better at the environment? Favorite foe. You've got a particular type of person that you like to beat up. Fearless. You are immune to fear effects. Grabbing finesse. You're not a dexterous grab. Great endurance. +5 to avoid becoming fatigued, holding your breath, starvation, thirst, hot, cold environments, suffocation, drowning. That thing. Hide in plain sight. You can do that. Holding back. This is an interesting one. Your power is so powerful that you've trained yourself not to use it, because you're terrified how powerful you actually are. So with this advantage, when rest of the teammate is dead, they all lost scenario, you can unleash your inner power, and your power level grow like +4 or something like that. You get, power level increases by 4 and you gain 6 additional points to spend. But something really bad result. So you've unleashed all of your power for this, something's bad happened to you. But it also means you have 60 more points to spend on almost a separate character sheet. So there's that. Improved aim. In a standard action to aim, you get...
Well, what would the bad thing be?
Complication. So you go to until... Just
it sounds like pretty ridiculous.
Host. So if you were like a user of a shadow magic and you're unleashing all of the shadow magic, well, maybe an entity from the realm starts and now you're possessed. Or hunted. You use your abilities and somebody wants to get vengeance on you and hunting you. Now they know where they are and they're going to coming after you. Or maybe you are completely incapacitated and you have passed out and you're unconscious for an hour while your body heals. By the way, all of these, whichever one it is chosen by Dan when you use the ability. So you won't even get to choose it.
Interesting.
Power unleashed.
Okay.
A meltdown. You fail to contain it. Your thing pushes out randomly at everybody, or randomly until you're unconscious. Something to that nature, like something that something really bad happens. But for a brief amount of time, you can become super powerful.
Gotcha. I got it. All right. So that is interesting. And that's only costs 1 point to get that?
Right. To unlock it so that you are holding, but to activate your extra abilities, so you must spend a hero point, and conditions must be met. Over half the team must be incapacitated, or many innocent lives should be at stake. So if half the team's gone, lots of innocents might go down. Take a will resistance check, so 1d20 plus your will, which is an 8. Exceeded. Okay, so 1d20 plus 8 versus 18. So assuming you pass and you've unlocked your second, you get the power point increase, you get the power level increase, but something bad happens. So
gotcha.
It costs a point because it's actually probably not very rarely going to come up.
Yeah, so we'll just move on.
Okay. Improved aim. You're better at aiming. Improved critical.
But yeah.
Improved critical. Instead of critting on a 20, on a 19, or an 18, 19, 20, or a 17, 18, 19, 20. Crits is when you go down to hit, you can do a bunch of extra damage or inflict a status modifier, or do other small things.
Okay, I like that.
So we'll do that, and you can take multiple ranks. So let's do your unarmed. Boom.
Yep.
If that makes sense. You can take multiple ranks. Right now you're critting on a 19 or 20. You can go down to, you can add up to 4 ranks for a 16, 17, 18, 19, or 20. Improved defense. Take the defend action, you're better on people. Improved grab, you're better at grabbing people. Improved hold. Once you've got somebody in a grab, it's hard for them to escape. Improved initiative. You act faster in the initiative order. Improved smash. You can sunder weapons a lot easier. Improved trip. You can trip people easier. Improved tools. If you're trying to invent something or use tools, just use whatever's around you. Same improvised weapons. Inspire. Spend a hero point to give a team member a +2 bonus to a roll. Instant up. If you're prone, it's only a free action to stand up. Interpose. This might be a decent one. If an ally is hit by an attack, you can jump in the way of the bullet. So if Silver Surfer gets the Mook rolls against Silver Surfer, hits Silver Surfer, you can fly in the way. You're automatically hit, but you will take the damage instead of Silver Surfer. Inventor, you can invent this jack of all trades. You can use any untrained. Leader, you can your presence reassures and gives courage
move
to
by
people.
Action?
Move by action. Normally, you do your move, then you do your punch. If move by action, you can move, punch, continue your move.
Yes, I like that.
Okay. Luck. Dan doesn't particularly like using luck, so I'm going to skip that. Minions happened. We're not even going to talk about that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Power attack, minus up to 5 to hit, +5 damage. Precise, you can dodge, you can ignore cover concealment. Prone fighting, you're fighting prone. Quick draw, doesn't really matter. Ranged attack we talked about. Redirect, if you do a if you spend a set action to combat trick, which is just a deception, if you win, and then the ally, your target misses you with an attack, you can instead have the target hit his ally. So if you trick Mook A, Mook A tries to punch you, you can interact, so instead Mook A punches Mook B. There's so many variables for that one, it's not really worth it. Ritualist should not apply. Second chance. I'm not thinking either. Seize initiative, spend a hero point to go first. Setup, not really going to matter. Sidekick, nope. Skill master, you're particularly good with one particular skill, so you can always take a routine check with that skill. So instead of rolling, you just assume you got a 10 on the dice.
I'll be right back.
Speed of thought's not going to apply. Startle's not going to apply. Takedown. If you punch a minion, it's cleave. So you kill somebody, you take out a minion, you can immediately punch a minion that's next to the guy that you just punched. Or if you take a second rank of takedown, you can just do it to anybody. You can continue moving between attacks. So it's like cleave or greater cleave, I guess.
Alright, is that worth it or not? Yeah.
Sure.
So is that worth it in this game?
Yeah. I like it.
So how many power points do I
It's
have?
one of those ones, so you have 2 left. Teamwork. You're good at teamwork checks.
Is that with takedown or without takedown?
So if you take takedown, you will have 2 power points left.
Uh-huh.
And then we can reduce power from other areas to give you more points for this too. So it's not too hard of a limit. Tracking, you know how to track people. Trance, you can go into a mystical trance to avoid suffocation and stuff. Ultimate effort, pick a skill, spend a hero point, assume a dice roll is a 20 without actually having to roll it. Uncanny dodge.
Well, I think these are all the skills I think I need. I think, unless there's something you think that my character would require or benefit from.
I mean, all of these could be beneficial. The ultimate effort, we did that. Uncanny dodge, you're not surprised. Which probably makes sense because you gotta watch out for drug users or whatever on your ambulance rounds. Yeah, the rest of these are kind of like, did any of those others sound interesting to you?
So right now I have, I have takedown.
So you've got a single rank of
what
improved
else? And move
critical.
by action.
So, yeah, so you got 1 rank of improved critical, move by action, 1 rank of takedown, uncanny dodge, and the die hard. You've got 1 power point left.
Okay, that sounds like more than enough.
Okay.
Of course I do. So what else do we have left? Do we have feats? Or those are feats, right?
Those are the feats. Yep. So that's it really. So you got powers, advantages, and skills.
Okay.
So you have 1 power point left.
Okay. So then add that to improved critical.
Okay.
And that makes it at 18 to 20. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so right now your only offense is unarmed punching, which is actually yeah. Or what we can do. I'm gonna take back improved crit for a minute, as you mentioned it earlier, and I missed it. So you send out the ray or whatever to absorb stamina from one person. You can then push that to healing somebody else. Can you take the instead of healing, a damage ray as well? Does that make sense? So you pull in somebody's stamina, you've got that life energy inside of you. Can you use it as a destructive force against somebody else?
That'd be interesting. Or have it, instead of having a weaken attack, having it like an actual damage attack.
Now,
sounds interesting. I don't think I have the points for that.
so we can do an alternate effect of your healing. So that we'll see how this works. So this will be a very weak ray.
Yeah.
So we'll call this a.
So just so you know, like it looks like it's there. We go. Your camera's gonna.
Oh, sorry, I
getting
didn't
kind of
move
dodgy
there.
there.
Okay. So we'll call it.
There we go. I can see what you're doing now.
Okay. So this will be limited as well. Let's see. Do you want it to be a touch, like your healing touch, or do you want it to be a ray that you can shoot out? I think you should probably do a touch.
Right now. Because that's cheapest, and I only had like 1 point left.
And this won't against that. This will be against food. Okay, so now you have a damage touch. So it's up to 10, or however many ricks you have in your weakened pool, your life pool. So if you have 5 points in your life force pool and you want to spend all 5 of them on this damage tab, it's a damage rank 5. But instead of against their armor, it's against their fortitude or their life force. So it's like an alternate.
Breaking up.
Sorry. I think the Google Hangout is killing bandwidth, but I think it's still okay. So you can. So now its damage is up to a 10, which is the maximum that you can do. But it's limited to, instead of being a damage rank 10, damage rank is whatever your in pool is. So if you're in somebody for 10 power points, you have 10 in your life force pool. You can spend 10 to heal somebody. You can spend 10 to do this damage ability as a touch. Instead of going against the person's toughness or their armor, where their armor would apply, this is going against their life force, their body, and fortitude itself.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yep. You've got a death touch. So, Mark, that's a question for you, actually. There is a character that I'm thinking of in the back of my mind that has this kind of ability where they can control life force, they pull life energy in, and then they can either heal somebody or damage somebody else. I cannot remember where I know that character from.
Were you thinking of Husk?
I don't know if you...
Husk X.
What is it?
Husk, I think.
I don't know the name. You know what? I'm thinking of Heroes, the TV show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Husk, I believe... Nope, Husk is not the person I'm thinking of. There is an X-Men, a newer X-Men that can kill people and or heal them. X.
Alright, so and then I'm going to set that this applies to this as well. Clean that up. Okay, so the way your character is set up now, you are flying. You do a ranged energy absorb. You roll 1d20 plus 10 to hit. If you hit, the defender is going to roll 1d20 plus their fortitude against a DC of 20. For every number of difference that they fail by, they're going to roll that many power points in stamina. Costs 2 power points per stamina drop. So if you want to look at it as whatever half of the difference in how much their stamina is reduced by, and equivalently how much their toughness is reduced by. And that is your pool, your life force pool. While you have a life force pool, your strength and stamina is increased, and it's going to reduce every round to 1. So in that case, I'm going to make this sustained. Turn this on and off as you want. Okay, I don't know why I can't sustain it, but sure. You also have, when you have the life force in you, you can also either heal somebody with a rank equal to the amount of life force points you want to spend on it, or you can damage somebody with a rank equal to the number of life force points that you want to spend on it. So with the damaging one, you're going to roll to hit with your melee. If you hit, they're going to roll versus fortitude, again, damage rank of whatever you apply. So the more you damage somebody, the more that's going to hurt.
Okay.
The more you weaken them, the more that's going to hurt them. That's your powers. Advantages, you have a little bit, you crit on a 19 or 20. You can move, punch, continue your moving. Takedown, if you kill a mook, there's another mook next to the mook that killed, you can punch him as well. So you can cleave onto him. But they have to be adjacent to each other. If you want to be able to continue walking and hit multiple mooks in the same action, and basically you punch, you kill, you continue on, you keep moving, you punch, you kill, you continue on, you keep moving, you kill. You can continue forever until you don't kill somebody with an attack. I just need to save up 1 power point, which actually I might just do that because I think that's more interesting. Let's take those 2 down 1.
So how many power points do I currently have? 0?
So once I make that tweak, you are at 0. So your takedown is now up to 2, so you can continue moving, and you can basically, anytime you kill a mook, you just, because you've got such high movement, because you fly so fast, you just continue on down the line, just punching every mook until you don't kill one. Uncanny dodge, you can't be surprised or caught off guard. And then die hard, if you ever hit the if you hit dying and have a life pool, you automatically stabilize. Skills, got a bunch of skills that are in there. You're really good at athletics, insight, understanding people, perception, ranged combat, and treatment. So applying first aid. You are an 8-12 split for your defenses, which is slightly skewed towards armor and toughness, which is fine. That's actually, it's pretty well balanced, honestly. Your punching is an 8-12 as well, so you're slightly skewed towards damage over accuracy, but that's about right. Nothing concerning there. So I think you actually got a pretty decent character so far. Your sheet looks pretty good. The only things now that you need to come up with is the backstory and who your character is on the personality side, the story, the background, the quirks, the history, how they got to where they are.
And just as an FYI, there is another character that does kind of fit what you're doing now that you've got kind of the death touch thing. His name is Elixir. I put it in the rabbit chat. Elixir is a mutant who can both heal and kill with a touch. So just FYI, if that helps, or feel free to disregard. But when you added the death touch thing, that made me start thinking of the character I was trying to remember, and that's... I think Dan might have actually mentioned Elixir too earlier in the stream, I'm not sure.
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually very, very close to what he's got going on.
Yep.
that you've got flight and
Right.
enhanced strength.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, but that's his take on it, right? It doesn't have to be exact.
exactly.
So, yeah, that's perfect.
So, looking at somebody who did a character sheet build for Elixir. So the complications that Elixir has that you might want to look at is he feels very guilty. There was a mission that he was on with the X-Men, and his teammates died. So he feels extremely guilty about that and kind of overprotective of his teammates. So he's got very big guilt.
He also crippled his girlfriend by accidentally having...
Does that add power points if you like take a guilt thing like that?
No, but if it comes into if Dan uses your complication against you, then you get a hero point.
Yeah,
that you can spend to do cool things.
I'm glad you asked that because that was that in Champions you do get power points for that, so that's why I was wondering, but that makes sense. Okay, got it.
Yep. So if Dan uses it against you, you get a hero point. If Dan doesn't use it against you, or it is somewhat, it does modify the game a little bit. Because his other one is he's prejudiced because he's a mutant. Well, that's probably going to play a lot, but does it actually hinder anything that we're doing? If it's a hindrance, then we would get a hero point for that. Because in this case, Elixir, his skin is either gold or black, and I don't know distinguishing when it's one or the other.
It's when he uses witch power. So it's gold most of the time when he's healing people, but if he uses his death touch instead, his skin turns black and stays black
so those
until
are
he heals somebody.
That's nifty. So those are two quick, right off the cuff complications that if you want to hijack and use for your character, you can as well. Or anything else that you can think of. Something that's happened in his past, or something that maybe he was in an accident or causes accidents. Maybe he's addicted to something. He's got a disability. He's got an enemy, somebody that's out there that wants vengeance and wants to kill him. Maybe he's a public figure, so everybody's so good luck getting around anywhere. You're loved by fans because you're famous. You've got fans. You have an irrational hatred of something. There's a whole bunch of them over here. I've got one already, which is your power loss.
Irrational hatred of homeless.
Sure.
Okay.
Or of drug dealers. Because do you know how many people you had to save on the street because of overdoses? I'm just throwing something out there. Hatred of health insurance companies. Maybe you have a secret identity. Maybe you're monstrous looking, so people are scared of you.
Or you could take fame and motivation recognition, and you could be a Kardashian.
There you go. You're famous because you want to be famous.
Oh god.
And you do things to keep being.
Okay, so do I? Is there a certain number of these I need to pick, or
minimum of 2? And I've already given you 1 with your power loss.
Minimum of 2, and I have 1 right now.
Yeah.
Yes, but the more you take, the more well-rounded your character story is. The more things Dan can throw against you, the more hero points you might have. I actually really like those two. Of you feel guilty for not healing somebody. You were on a mission with somebody and they died.
No, I feel. How about I feel
them?
guilty for killing somebody?
Okay. Was it an
How about I
accident
feel
or
guilty
purpose?
for killing someone with my power?
Uh,
It was when my powers first spawned.
And who was it?
And I took power from someone. I was in the hospital. I took power from somebody and transferred into the person I was trying to heal. But in doing so, I killed the person I was drawing from, not knowing how that I had this ability, and then realizing what I did. I feel shame or what have you.
So that'd be guilt. Yeah.
Why is guild not an option?
That's a good
So I'm gonna
question
call
because
it a
it's on
custom.
mine too.
I'm
It
going to
was
call
not
it
today.
built.
I'd say guilt for because it was I wasn't aware that I was doing it until I figured out later, so I felt guilty because I knew I did it.
So when your power is manifested, you accidentally pulled too much life force from your EMT partner, killing him. Him to save.
Killing her. Let's twist a dagger a little bit.
Killing her. All right. And I always like the X-Men that don't look, or the mutants that don't look like humans. So the fact that Elixir has gold or black skin is actually pretty entertaining to me. But you don't have to do that. You're at 2, so you can be done here if you want.
So you're breaking up there. So you saying you like Marvel characters that what?
So I personally really like mutants that do not look like normal humans. That the fact that they're mutants is very obvious. So so Elixir having this gold or black skin is actually really interesting to me, as opposed to a mutant that can pass as a normal human. But that's completely up to you. When your powers manifested, did your skin change colors, or did you stay looking like a normal human? Or did you grow wings?
I like. No, I like the color changing thing, but let's have like was it my eyes turned white, but when I killed they turned black. So like if when I use my death ability or damage ability, my eyes turn black, like Lita, like all the way black.
After a healing touch, eyes are white.
After death.
After
Yes.
death touch, eyes are black. How long? Forever? Until you do the other?
Until my powers. Until I would lose my bonuses or whatever.
Yeah, fades the per.
Oh, no life force. Cool.
Then I'd like to, basically go back to the canon.
Okay.
I think that'd be interesting.
God, why is he wearing sunglasses all the time? Jesus.
It's night outside.
I know, right?
Okay. So your character sheet is done. Is there any other tweaks or anything that you can think of? So you're unarmed. You've got a pretty good spread.
No, not that I can think of.
Just throwing this out here. Now that we're done, healing touch and your damage touch are both touch-based powers, but your energy absorb is a ranged power. You can free up 10 points to use wherever. Energy absorb a touch-based power as well. It's up to you. You can leave it as ranged, or you can also make it a touch.
I'd keep the range personally. Otherwise,
I think it's fine for right now.
Okay.
What was that? You're breaking up. You say you think it should just keep it as is?
I would, yeah. I would recommend you keep one ranged attack rather than have none.
Yeah. So you set something.
Yeah. Yeah. Since
Exactly.
that's the battery for the rest of your powers, I'd probably keep that ranged.
Makes sense to me. Okay, so
No, I'm
now,
fine with everything.
okay, so now you just need to come up with a character name, and then a
Aeon.
Aeon.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to
Yeah.
do Elixir since he wants us to actually play characters.
So I
can be Elixir. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
Yeah,
But,
sorry, that's why I was bringing it up, because Daniel wants us to all play actual characters who haven't been introduced into the MCU yet.
okay. So the character I wrote has no MCU corollary.
I bet
So
you
I'll have
you're
to check
wrong.
to see if
Because
what's that?
I'm an encyclopedia about that. I bet you're wrong. I bet there very much is an analogy.
sorry.
So my character, for me,
What's his power
I
set?
don't think there's a corollary. There's a obvious choice that doesn't really mesh, but I guess you could call it a corollary.
Mhm.
But I'm not taking that name.
Okay.
Screw that. So call your character whatever you want. So I'm reading the Exiles comics right now, and in one of the worlds that they visit, an alternate dimension, the Hulk is called the Banner Beast. So even if you are Elixir, you can still have a different name. But we can always run by Dan.
Yeah, because Dan wants us to make existing characters. We can put our own spin on them, but they're supposed to be actual characters that aren't in the MCU yet.
Okay, well then, go ahead and have my name be Aeon, and my actual real name be Joseph Foley, because that's what his actual real name is. So his real name, but I actually don't like the name Elixir, because it sounds like something you would drink versus what his actual powers are. And Aeon means life, so it kind of plays more to his powers, I think.
Alrighty, works for me. So now you need to come up with a character portrait, a token, a picture for your character, and then any additional backstory. So I guess I need to ask Dan. So we are all powered individuals for one reason or another. Why are we a group?
That's going to be
What brought us
gone
to
over
a
next
group together?
week.
I don't know if that's been explained yet.
Next week, we're going over that.
Okay. Yeah, so it's how did you get from being an EMT
I'm not sure, actually.
to the group that we're in right now? So that might be something for you to think through. So for your own reference as well, Mark's playing Silver Surfer. Ray is playing Gambit.
Yep.
And I've got 17 different characters that I'm trying to decide which to play. I am now torn between two, either Colossus or my custom character goes by Puck, is a pixie. So
Puck is actually a character in Marvel.
Is he?
Yeah, Puck is part of Alpha Flight.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, but I guess at this point, it's hard to find
Puck
a name
is part of the Canadian, the thing that Wolverine was a part of first.
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight. There we go. Yeah.
Guy who owned a comic.
Yeah, he's like a small little dude that Sasquatch throws.
Yeah, has read all of the Marvel comics and DC comics from 1968 forward.
So he does hyperdense physiology, small size. So he's just a small guy.
Yeah.
So mine, he was woke up with the mutants. His mutant gene awakened after the happening, D18, 6 inches tall, dragonfly wings, and an ability to create illusions. as well as create portals to and from the fairy realm. So portal to the realm, navigate through fairy lands to find the correct location to portal back to the mortal world wherever he wanted to be.
Yeah, so you could literally be Pixie.
So I looked up Pixie.
Yeah.
I looked up Pixie, and the only thing that Pixie has is she is normal size with the ability to shrink and has wings. But nowhere in there does it talk about the illusions or anything like that.
Well, so that's part of the interesting thing, is because she was taught a teleportation spell by Elenia Rasputin and could then teleport her friends to other dimensions. So, like you were talking about, the Pixie realm, etc. Again, this can be your twist on it, but I think that would be a pretty close analogy.
That's close enough. So that was the one that I was thinking of that I knew was close, but I'm not in character Pixie. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
And
why not?
Well, using a guy, not going to happen.
No, you'd be a girl.
A
guy in real life, girl.
You're right. Let's see what you did there. Looking up Pixie right now. So nullify magic, summon a dagger, and teleport, and then flight. Right. But she's not small.
Well, again, you can put your own spin on it. That's the whole point. Is they haven't been introducing the MCU, change the the power set, but that might be a good analogy. All right, can we make mine real quick, because I think we can do this fairly quickly. Do you have time?
I've already made it. Yeah, I've already made it a couple times. This is perfect. So I will save the PDF of Aeon, and I'll send it out to the group later tonight, if that's cool.
That's fine.
Actually, I'll go ahead and send it to you now so that you can skim through it and tell me if anything jumps out at you. I'm going to go back to her. You are that one. Save PDF. That one. This is going to be send this one out. Aeon is sent to Dan and self, Nick. So let's go to the new Silver Surfer. That one.
Okay, we're going to do this super backwards. Let's start with complications.
Did it not?
What's that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Guilt times 2, or you can put both entries in one, whatever. Destroyed countless worlds and civilizations. Did not stop Thanos. The next one is relationship.
Okay.
Shalabal.
Spell it.
Shalla. Second word Bal. Inspired him to make the sacrifice of becoming the Surfer. Honor.
Okay.
Will not lie or cheat easily.
Okay.
Enemy Thanos.
Oh, Thanos is trying to kill him?
Yeah.
Put out for the Surfer?
Which is why I wasn't here for the snapping.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's it for complications. So I want to do a couple powers first, and then we'll go into the stats because I want to make sure that I get these. These are going to be outside of anything else. So the first one is, and I'm hoping that Hero Labs has it. It's called Unearthly. Yep.
30 to Fortitude effects.
Yes, that. So this is
all right, guys. So I'm done. So I'm gonna head out. Is that all right, guys?
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Have a good night, man. Catch you next week.
All right. I'll catch you guys later.
All right. See you later. So here's my question. What's the difference between this and Protection 3 with extras Impervious 19?
So, Protection is going to increase your against damaging attacks.
Okay.
Impervious is another one of those powers that Dan tends to frown on. He doesn't outright ban that one. But what Impervious means, take half of your rank of Impervious. So if you're Impervious, normally you attach it to Toughness. If Impervious Toughness is rank 10, half of 10 is 5. If the damage ability is rank 5 or lower, you automatically take no damage, no rolls needed.
Okay, because that's basically...
So that's really boring.
Yeah. Does Unearthly do anything for my toughness?
Not a thing.
Okay, so then I see why they did it this way. Okay. Which is more expensive. But
because it is increasing your armor.
Right.
Now, what immunity to Fortitude effects means that any poison, anything that would affect your Fortitude at all, you're completely immune to it. Like his weakened life force, Nick's weakened life force, with it all, because you're completely immune to it.
All right. Well, let's leave this there for 30 points then, and I'll come back to the. We may tinker with it. The other one I want to take is an object. It's resummonable cosmic surfboard.
Okay, so device.
Yeah, device. Thank you.
Okay. I'm assuming it'll be. Go ahead.
Easily recoverable, yeah. Flight 15, Flaws platform.
Okay.
And then movement 3, space travel 2, dimensional travel, Flaws platform.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So movement
3
was space.
No, movement 3.
Were the things.
Oh, space travel 2 and dimensional travel.
Okay. What dimension?
Dimension 1. Space travel 2. Flaws platform.
Yeah, so choose the... So at rank 1,
yeah,
move from one dimension to another.
Yeah.
So from your home dimension to one other. So you can only move between 2 different dimensions. So what's the other dimension?
It would be...
I'm not sure if it applies to the surfer, does it?
He can travel between dimensions. He just doesn't do it very often. You know, you can take the dimension off. That's fine.
Just make it a power stunt then.
Yeah.
If you ever need to do it, just spend a hero point, and now you can do it.
That's totally fine.
Okay, but you can travel to other solar systems. Did you want to travel to other galaxies?
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay, so we'll make it. So it's still movement 3.
Yeah, and flaw platform on that as well.
Okay.
So that should be a total of, like...
18?
18?
Actually, no, it'll be a little less. 10, because it's easily removable.
What's easily removable?
The surfboard? Yep.
What do you mean? Like, you can knock me off it or something?
So... easily removable is a good disarm check, or they can take the surfboard away from you fairly easily, as opposed to removable, which is they can take you when you're unconscious
Well,
and not able to fight back.
Because I can resummon it at any point in time, so it's not like somebody can take it and
Yeah, but when you don't have it,
yeah, I can pull it out of my person, out of the cosmic entity that I am. He does that all the time.
so in that
Unless there's-
case, it's
unless there's
not
some
going to be a
kind
device. Wouldn't be a device in that case. So it would be multiple effects that we will call the surfboard. And give you the flight. 15. And then it's going to have the platform flaw.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll add your movement. Space travel
3.
3. And platform.
Yep.
So
And it should
add-
be 18 points.
okay. Yes, I got rid of that device.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
now it's not removable at all.
Okay, so then
But
the
it's a
next...
platform, so you can get it.
Right. Cosmic
Okay.
Awareness
What is that?
features 1 directed inspiration.
We'll do this way. Okay, what?
It says, may ask the GM a question with a HP, with a hero point, and it's 1 point apparently.
You spend your hero point.
You can ask 1 question.
Okay, yep, that's how that'll work. So instead of doing a hero point once per session, you can say, "Hey Dan, give me,"
Okay.
and then it happens once per
Okay.
session.
Okay.
Okay.
And then senses 1, cosmic awareness ranged 3.
Senses, awareness, cosmic. I can make that 1. Is it like accurate? Is it analytical? Is it extended?
The cosmic awareness? It just says,
What is it? You said you have a sense.
yeah, senses 1, cosmic awareness ranged 3.
Gotcha. Range is what I was missing. Ranged. Not ranged. Was extended. Right through. Okay. Cosmic awareness out to looks like 1,000 miles.
Yeah, and is that 4 points?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Did I just click cancel?
Yeah,
Dang
you
it.
did. Sorry, I watched you do it too.
So that was senses. You were doing awareness and extended. Rank 2. Cosmic. Rank 3. Add. Okay.
Okay, that's that one.
Okay.
Let's go to... Let's go to advantages for a second. Sorry, I know I'm all over the
Okay.
place. I'm trying to...
That's fine.
We're at 54 points. Okay. How much is Die Hard?
Die Hard. So advantage is 1, but
Okay.
you can take it multiple times.
Okay, so Die Hard, yes. What does evasion do for me?
Evasion. If you're inside of an area attack, you get +2 to your dodge, or +5 if you have 2 ranks of it. So you're better able to get out of AoEs.
Yeah, Alright, I'm going to skip that for a minute. What does Fearless do for me?
You're immune to fear effects.
Okay, so let me do fearless. Great endurance.
Okay. +5 to endurance checks.
Mm-hmm.
So fatigue, holding your breath, avoiding damage, starvation, thirst, hot and cold environments, suffocation, drowning.
Well, I'm already immune.
Which
to all
you're
those,
already immune to.
Yeah, so no point to do that. Okay. Improved critical blasts.
Okay.
2 ranks.
I'll have to come back to that one later.
Okay.
Okay.
What does interpose do?
If an enemy hits one of your allies, you can instead be automatically hit and take the damage.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Last stand. What does that do?
It's not one of mine. That's probably going to be like...
Mutants and Masterminds, 3rd edition, last
I'm going
stand.
to guess it's probably going to be ultimate effort.
I wonder if that's from 2nd edition.
Yes.
Says it's from Mecha and Manga. What is last stand? You can be a bloody mess, but you still find that one last ounce of strength needed to prevail. You can use extra effort to ignore all penalties from damage conditions during a single round. I mean that's the definition of extra effort. So no, okay, never mind. Isn't it?
So extra effort, you can reduce a modifier from a 5 to a 2 or a 2 to a 0. Okay. But if you've got like 10 minus 1 bruises,
got it. Last
stand would let you ignore all of those.
If I can do that, that's great. If it's not on there and we can't, then that's fine too.
It's not, but we can make it a custom one.
Okay.
Why won't it let me modify that? Whatever. Okay. Alright, so that was last stand. What else you got?
Move by action.
Okay. So you can move, punch, and then continue moving.
Can I move ranged and continue moving?
Yes.
Okay, then. Yes.
So normally it's your movement action, then spend your standard action. Now it's movement, standard action, continue movement.
Yep, let's do that.
Okay.
And then power attack? What does that do?
Take up to a -5 to your accuracy to gain the same amount to your damage.
Okay, sure. Ranged attack 4.
So you are good with all ranged weapons. You get +4 to any ranged weapon.
Okay. And my ranged attacks, right? I
yes.
assume that's why they're doing it this way. And then the last one is withstand damage.
You'll have to look that one up too. I don't know that one.
Okay, stand by one.
-5 to defenses to add +5 to your tough.
Oh, -5 on dodge defense. Yeah.
I don't know why. That makes sense to me. That's easy enough.
And then... Okay, so we're sitting at how many now?
67 left. Excuse me, 83 left.
Okay. So let's go to fudge. I'm trying to. I know what I want to do with his power set because that's where I'm going to run out of point, and I want to put it into an array with limitations. For most of them,
okay.
The stuff that we did now is the stuff that sits outside that array. So I guess we should go to stats and see what I can do here with this.
Okay. You take. There is a default. You see, it's like an energy controller. There is a deep energy controller array.
Yeah, let's see it.
So it'd be. I would probably call him that one. So 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that would be the standard, one of the 3 standard energy controller.
Okay,
that's the one I feel is more appropriate.
So put his presence up to 2. His intelligence needs to be 4. What's his dex? Dex goes down to 2. We're at 101 right now.
107, 43 left.
If we put his, or leave his fighting where it's at, what happens for Grins if we put his stamina up to 16? I know it's not. That's not where we're going to leave it, but I'm just curious how many points that is. 133. Okay, so put it down to
135.
Oh, okay, put it down to what's it at say 9?
29 left.
Ah.
So 2 points per rank.
All right, take it down to 8. Okay. Let's go to skills.
Okay. So 1 point gives you 2 ranks of skills.
Give me how many ranks?
One power point is 2 skill ranks.
Okay.
They don't have to be to the same skill. You can split them up.
Right. So perception 6 would be 3 points?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, adding 6 ranks of perception would cost you 3 points. Because your awareness is a 3, it gives you a total of +9.
Yeah, that's what it should be. Okay.
Okay.
Ranged combat blasts 5.
That's probably going to need to bring it down, but we'll see on that one. Because you've already got ranged combat, ranged attack is 4, plus this 7 means you're at +11 to hit, so your blast can be a maximum damage of 9. If you're cool with that, that's fine.
And what's the limiting stat there?
Your accuracy plus your damage cannot exceed twice the power level. So in this case, right now, your accuracy is a 7 plus 4, it would be 11. So you're +11 to hit.
Yeah.
So your damage can be a max 9. So if you want an 9 split, that's totally kosher.
No, I'm confused. What's saying that my max damage is 9?
So part of the cap for power level 10 is that your accuracy plus your damage cannot exceed twice the power level. It's 20. So your accuracy is 11.
Right.
11 plus damage cannot exceed 20. So your damage therefore cannot exceed 9.
Oh.
Because you're +11 to hit.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess bring it down 1 maybe then.
Okay. So for a 10-10 split?
Yeah. And then I think I can get away without those. I think I can get away without that. Okay. And then, all right. I don't have any defenses right now, huh?
Correct.
Okay, so Go back to the power. Oh, I don't have it. Imbued. Let me do a new power. Imbued with the power cosmic. Because I mean, basically, I'm gonna be the tank. Because he can only do so much. So I'm gonna throw this one into imbued with the power cosmic and do protection 3 with the impervious. $10 maybe. I don't know.
So with impervious 10, that means any damage of 5, you automatically pass without any need for rolling.
Okay.
Dan has expressed in the past that he does not like that because I did it and on my tank, and I walked into a room full of cultists that all had AK-47s, and none of them could hurt me. So his entire scene was screwed because none of them could damage me.
So I think I'm making up for that with what we're going to do next. So he can always veto it. This is the first draft run. But the goal here is yes, I'm going to definitely soak, but I'm not necessarily going to do the rest. All right.
What do you want your defense toughness skew to be? Do you want to be a 10 split? Do you want to be a 5-15 split?
Probably a 5-15. What does that mean? Which side makes it so that I take less damage, I guess is the answer.
So the 5-15 means that your defenses are 5, so it's really easy to hit you, but your toughness is 15, so even if they hit you, you're ridiculously hard to hurt.
That one.
And it doesn't have to be 5-15. You could do 6-14, 7-13, 8-12, 9-11, 10-10.
5-15 is fine.
Okay.
Because he's not traveling at light speed to get out of the way. That's the point.
Okay. So your toughness is 15. You're only impervious up to one thing I've read in the past is your impervious should be capped at. No, that's fine. So you're 15 toughness, but you're only impervious 10.
Yeah.
So a damage rank 5 or less, you will completely ignore. But a damage rank 6 or higher is going to pass through to get a toughness of 15 roll.
How often do you think we'll be hitting? I mean, and this is metagaming a little bit, but I'm trying to make him a sponge for this. So how often do you think I would be hit with a rank 5 or higher in this power level type of campaign?
I think most. So any super that we're going up against will be higher than damage 5. Any mooks probably be 5 or slightly lower.
But wait a minute, didn't I take something that gave me extra toughness ranks? Where was it?
Yeah, they're probably already accounted for in there.
No, like the advantages, like the withstand damage, I think was the one where I can sacrifice my dodge to add toughness ranks.
Right. Yeah, so you're at a 5-15 split. If you do the withstand, you can go down to a 0 dodge, 0 parry to be a 20 toughness.
Right.
So
that would be good, right?
Sure.
Because if I know I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit, but it's not going to do anything, ideally. Unless it's stronger than a 20.
Trying to find... There it is. 213 to 221. So just for your reference, let's see if I can find it. A shotgun is damage 5. A heavy pistol is damage 4. Sniper rifle is damage 5. Assault rifle is damage 5.
Okay, so maybe then we should make that a 8-12. Wait, is that right?
So I can drop the impervious down without affecting your actual armor. So now you're only impervious. So I dropped it down to an 8. which means that any damage of 4 or less will be ignored. But a damage of 5, so the shotguns, the assault rifles, the hair guns, you roll your dice to save against. But like a pistol or a submachine or a bow and crossbow, those are not very damaging, so they're just going to plink off your armor without you even having to roll.
Yeah, but even so, the one thing I'm trying not to compromise is his toughness. I'm willing to compromise all his other abilities, offensive abilities, as long as I can soak as much damage as possible. Now, granted, there's only one of me and I only get to act once per round, so I get that. But I'm worried about taking his impervious down, and I'd rather give him a better split.
So those are two. I think those are two completely separate powers. So first, he has toughness of 15. So if you were to take damage, you're going to roll your toughness check, which is a 15. Parallel to that, you are also impervious, which means that anything of damage 4 or less, you're going to completely ignore without having to make a toughness roll. Those are parallel to each other. They're not connected.
Right. But if I do a 5, then that's at least a shotgun. Right? I mean, if I do a 10 for impervious.
Yes, if you set your impervious to 10, you will ignore shotguns.
Yes, let's do that. And then I've got my 15 die roll for toughness.
Yep.
And how many points do I have left? 9? Alright.
9.
Alright, so I think we're going to do this really easily. Alright.
And by the way, you still need to increase your... So let's toss, just to make it easy, a couple in there. Your will, I think, can only go up to 10. So you're actually, if you were to max out your defenses, you're already overspent. Yeah, that has to be a 10. No higher than 10. You can drop it down, though. Like, you don't have to be maxed defenses.
No, in fact, dodge and parry should be lower. Shit, I'm not going to be able to do this with... Alright, so...
I can drop your dodge down to 4.
Yeah.
I can drop your parry down to 3, because they're tied to your agility fighting. I can't take them. I can't take them less than those unless it's those stats.
Fine. That's fine. And that leaves me how many points?
2.
Okay.
So there's your willpower, though, governed by awareness, which is a 3. So your willpower is 10, which is ability to resist mental effects.
Don't I have a advantage to help with that? No, that was fearless, and we said we didn't need that.
You do have fearless right now.
Oh, I do have.
So you're immune to fear. Like if you're hit with a.
I'll keep it.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to leave your will at 10?
No, let's drop
your
it down.
Save.
Yeah, let's drop
to
it down.
1 point per rank.
Yeah. 7?
I can take it as low as 3. Okay.
That leaves me how many points?
Yeah, 5 points now. 5. My recommendation, drop some flight, because you don't need to be flying at 64,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
You probably drop it down to like a 6. And it'll still feel the same. It's still 120 miles an hour. That's still pretty good. It gives you a couple points there. Everything else looks fairly... And honestly, I would drop the impervious as well. Speaking of not rolling or auto-saving it is just no fun.
Okay. Alright, that's fine. Yeah.
Still, I mean, you're still going to be a 15, but now you have to roll against anything that might damage you.
Okay.
Instead of just completely ignoring it. And I would hazard to say that would be Dan's preference as well.
Yeah, I get it. That's fine. Okay.
He has not outright understand impervious, but he does not like how it works.
All right, we're going to do some voodoo magic here, but I need your help because I don't understand how Mutants and Masterminds does it versus Champions.
Okay.
I want to create a power array. I want to put a limitation
Gotcha.
on the array, multiple limitations on the array to drop the single slot, the overall cost, and the single slots down.
Okay.
We may need to rejigger it once or twice because I may want
That's fine.
one or two of them to not have all the limitations on it. So I don't know.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because you can't put limitations on the entire array. You put limitations on every power in the array. Right.
Oh, so that's a difference between Champions and this, because you can use in Champions you can do it to reduce the entire cost of the array, and then all the things inside will inherit it, and then you can do further limitations to lower the individual line costs.
Yep.
So I got it. Okay. All right. So then this will be wields cosmic forces.
Okay.
All right. So the first object is a cosmic blast.
That's easy. That one exists. Cosmic Blast. Okay. What is it?
19 ranks.
So you're going to be limited to 10 ranks.
Okay, so 10 ranks. Okay, feats on it would be penetrating.
So I would recommend let's not worry about penetrating now, because just as it prefers that there's no impervious, the only thing that penetrating lets you do is ignore impervious. If there's no impervious, then there's no need for penetrating.
Okay. Split.
That's more of a house rule. Okay.
And
But-
what does that do exactly?
So you can take, instead of one beam coming out of your body, you can
I can
split
do
it to
two.
two different hands,
Two different hands.
and you
Right,
can hit
okay.
two different people. It's still damage. Total rank is 10, so you can do 5 damage to this guy, 5 damage to the other guy, or 9
Got it.
damage to him, 1 damage to him.
Got it.
So you split the damage.
Got it. Extended range 5. And then
Okay, you've now exceeded your limit, but
yeah.
I think that you can fluff that one. I think you can ditch that. Okay,
Okay.
because you're already hitting 250 feet, so you can fluff the rest of it.
Variable 2. What does that do?
Okay, what is? Continue
Yeah,
reading
right.
that line.
No, that's
more
it.
to it.
That's all that's in there. Variable 2.
All right. Then it
says
doesn't.
extended range 5 times 3,200 feet. Variable 2.
Okay, I don't know what the variable means, so we'll just ignore it.
Okay.
And it saves points anyways.
Yes.
Okay. So increased range. It's rank 10. Range split 2 targets. Okay. What else?
Okay. Healing 10. Extras
Okay.
are ranged.
And we've exceeded our limit, so we'll probably take the healing rank down a couple. What else do you need it to?
Restorative. And then area 30-foot burst. And it's got a flaw on it. Or 2 flaws on it.
Which are?
Limited to others. And distracting.
Okay, so area burst is got that native, so just for the limited to others, it's already
Okay.
in there. So with an area burst, though, you're going to heal everybody in the burst, friends and enemies.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, unless you take the selective extra, which lets you pick
Yeah, no.
who inside your burst gets it.
No,
Nope.
that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, and then being more cheesy here, so restorative, what that lets you do is anytime somebody weakens somebody else, you can unweaken them.
Mhm.
I've never seen weaken ability in. That's not to say they won't send one at us, but I've never seen one. Energizing is a lot more common. You can heal. You're giving energy to somebody. So fatigued, hindered, those conditions are gone away.
Okay, that's fine.
As opposed to being able to restore somebody to where they were before somebody else tried to get them.
Got it.
Your choice.
Yeah, that's fine.
So do you want to swap it for energizing or leave it as is?
Yeah, let's swap.
Or do both?
No, we can just swap it. That's fine.
Okay. In which case, oh, sorry. Your burst healing, is the burst healing centered on you or centered on a point in your vision?
Probably.
Lob a grenade. Go ahead.
No, it's probably from my hands. So it'd be 30-foot
Okay.
burst from my hands.
Okay.
And is a burst in
Distracting.
a circle? Is it a cone? What is that?
30-foot radius sphere centered on you.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I can make it bigger. Cost
No.
more points.
No, I'm good. Okay, and then
You all,
the other one is...
and I need you're 7 points over, so I need to reduce the ranks
Nope.
down.
Nope, don't reduce the ranks down. Nope. I know I'm over. We're gonna work backwards. I'm putting these in, then
Okay.
we'll put the limitations on them.
Okay.
And then the last one is going to be... Cosmic Explosion.
What's it do?
Basically, it's an AoE effect.
Okay. Centered on a point elsewhere.
It's area 60 feet. A cone.
Cone. Okay.
I'm sorry, area 120 feet. Cone.
Okay. Okay.
And what is
Does it have
variable
anything else?
2? Yeah, it has variable 2 on it as well, but I don't understand what that does.
Just ignore it.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it a second edition holdover.
But that's an explosion, like a
Mhm.
AoE damage explosion. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cone coming out of you. So it's more like a breath weapon kind of thing, or a flamethrower style instead of
It's flamethrower style instead of the focused beams out of each hand.
Yep.
Okay. So now, let's talk about the extra
And
limitations.
you want a cosmic explosion, sorry.
Yeah.
So one thing jumped out at me that I want to see if this works. That's not what I wanted to do. That might save you a couple. Did that even save you any points? Okay, that did save you some points. So what I did was, instead of being completely immune to fortitude effects,
Yeah.
you can be affected by fortitude effects, but you only suffer half of what the effect would be. So like your solar metabolism is still, so you're still kind of affected by poisons, just not as much as most people would be.
But I'm already
to do that,
I'm already immune to poisons from our unearthly.
Right. I swapped your unearthly to, instead of being completely immune, to your half immune.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna put some limiters on those last powers we did that should drop the points down.
Oh, darn it! I was afraid it was going to do that. Hold on, I gotta fix it back.
Okay.
Go away. Now I can do that. Okay. And that one. All right, go for it.
Okay, so first on the healing.
Okay.
I want to add a limitation of a 50% die roll. I don't know how that's... So it'll only work half the time, basically?
It's quite 50%. It's declare you're going to use it. On a 10 or less, it doesn't work. Oh,
yes,
actually, no, that is
50%. Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
It's like 11 or better or whatever, so it's usually off by a little bit. But in this case, it's perfect. Okay.
Same for the cone attack.
Yep.
That bring me back down under points.
You've got 1 point left. So you're good. You have an additional point to spend.
Did we do... let's see. Let me put 1 point back into... Wait, what's fortitude? Oh, no. I don't need that. And I can't put any more points into toughness.
You can. Yes, you can. I can do that actually pretty easy.
Okay.
So you're a 4/16 split.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that's a unnerfed surfer.
There you go. Let's see cosmic awareness. You can ask the GM for advice once per session for free. You can sense whatever your cosmic awareness lets you sense, which you understand I would. Yeah, I'm going to clean that up right there. Because that was only one effect. Yeah. And then that was... Is that... View to the power cosmic protection plus 8.
Yeah, it was the protection 3 with the impervious 8, I think.
Yep. So you're not missing anymore. We bumped it up to an 8 to give you the plus 16 to your dice roll. Is that an ability that you turn on or off, or is it always on?
Always on.
Or do you have the ability? To turn on it? If you get knocked unconscious, is it still there?
Yes.
Answers that question. Okay, you're flying at 120 miles an hour, which is pretty nifty with the form. Space travel's good. Fortitude effects, good. Okay, so you've got 3 separate things you could do. You can either do a blast, can split if you want. You get a 50 if you declare your 50% chance that it goes off or not. And then you can explosion on yourself, everybody within 30 feet of you. DC 10, 50% failure. Die hard, you automatically stabilize if you're dying. Fear, I need to set that to Cosmic Blast.
What are we setting to Cosmic Blast?
I was attaching improved critical to your Cosmic Blast.
Yes, please.
I couldn't attach it before I created it before.
Right.
So I was making sure it got attached. You jump in the way. Last stand was the...
Last stand was the... 2 seconds.
Spend a hero point. Ignore bruises.
It is...
This turn.
Yeah, you can use it. You can use extra effort to ignore all penalties from damage conditions during a single round.
Ignore damage penalties
from damage conditions during a single round.
Okay. Move by action, so you can interrupt your movement with a standard action. Power attack, -5 to hit, +5 to damage. Ranged attack +4 works. You probably, so you could save a couple points here. This is getting a... So right now, so this is 1 point per rank.
Right.
So you spent 4 points to give yourself +4 with your Cosmic Blast.
Right. Well,
Or if you
no,
make it
because it's also for the Cosmic Blast, the cone damage, and the healing, right?
it wouldn't apply to those because none of those require rolling to hit. So it only affects your Cosmic Blast.
Oh.
Unless you happen to pick up an AK-47 and know how to use that.
No.
Are you trained?
No, I actually skipped the technology too and the vehicles too. So no. That's fine.
Okay. Switch from ranged attack. More this one.
Yeah.
Because you've got 2 more points to spend.
Okay, so we're going to add another power under the Cosmic Forces one.
Okay.
Those Cosmic Forces. And this is going to be... how... Alright, sense... What's the difference between sense energy and sense life when you use it for tracking?
That's on you with your knowledge of Silver Surfer. What is he doing differently when he does one or the other?
Okay.
That's a fluffy thing, not a rules thing.
Okay. Alright, let's try this and see how many limitations we have to put on it to get into the point range that we actually have. Which is fine. I'm good with this. It's restructure matter, transform 7.
Okay.
And then it's going to have some feats, and we'll work our way backwards.
Transform. X anything to anything?
Anything to anything.
Okay, and what are the extras or flaws first?
The feats are increased mass 5 and continuous. That's
the increased duration now. Okay.
And then the first flaw he has listed is distracting, and then we're going to have to add a bunch of others.
Distracting. Okay.
Let's also add, like, the die roll. Can we put it at 25% chance of success?
Yeah. So let's see. Custom. No, I don't want to custom plus. I want a custom minus. %. So that's like what, a 1 to 5 fails? No, 1 to 15 failed.
1 to 15 fails, yeah.
Yep.
And then what are my other options for
minuses?
Yeah.
So we're looking in this column. We already did a custom fades.
No.
That doesn't really apply. Feedback doesn't really apply. You're not injecting it. Limited. No. Permanent.
Oh, I think that was the...
I think that's implied.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, nothing.
Tiring?
Tiring? Sure.
So you're vulnerable when you use it, and then you are fatigued for after it, and it takes an hour of rest to become energized again.
Sure.
Okay, so this takes you. You can go up to rank 10 for free, or 10,
sure,
and still be 1 additional point.
Sure.
So
that sounds good.
The way that arrays work in this one is you've got an ability that costs 21 power points.
Yep.
Everything else that you can do will only cost 1, except that when you build it, it cannot exceed the 21.
Got it.
So, like, if your Coronary Explosion was 22 points, then your array would be a 22-point array with a bunch of 1-point modifiers.
I see.
So because this is less than 21, it only counts as 1.
Got it.
So you can do one additional effect in the array if you want.
Can we, when you say one additional effect, you mean power or?
Sure.
Oh yeah,
An
I
alternate.
see what you're saying.
Or you can take a different advantage, or you can add some more skills. You can increase your defenses a little bit more.
Let me do sense life. And it's going to be senses 22.
Okay, I got.
And this is weird. He says sense life, senses 22, detect life, range 17, tracking.
So you've got detect, extended range, and tracking. Okay, and extended was up to 17.
Yeah. Which is like
And you're
1.6
detecting
trillion miles.
life. Okay. Yep, so that's 19 months now.
For
So
some
what is
reason
that?
he has it as 22. Oh, you did 19 ranks. That's why. Okay. He had 22 ranks.
So I can't choose this number. I had to
Got it.
apply these, and it will get this number from that.
I got it.
So detect life is 1 rank. Let's see. Actually, that could be a 2. Tracking. Yeah, that's probably that as well. Okay, yep. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, so I got 21 points for that one.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still going to be 1 point at the end of it, right?
Yep, as long as it's less than 21.
Yep.
Or
And
21 or
that's-
less, so you're good.
Yeah, then
So
that's-
because it's
yeah.
in this, so because it's in that array, that means that you have to choose whether to turn it on or not, because you can only
Right.
use one thing in the array at any point in time. Okay.
Right. Makes sense to me.
Right, so I'll save that. Okay, so your Cosmic Blast plus 10 to hit, doing 10 damage.
What,
Cosmic Explosion, auto hit. What's up?
is it just plus 10? I thought the range things gave it more. The range-
So you wanted the 10-10 to accuracy to damage. Do you want to
Okay.
swap that up? We can. Do you still want 10-10, or do you want to make it less accurate, more powerful, or the other way around?
What do you suggest? Because
I like 10-10.
okay. We'll leave
So,
it at 10.
honest, what I would suggest
Mhm.
is, again, this is kind of getting a little bit more cheesy. I would probably drop that senses thing and just use a power stunt for it or something. And then I would take the accurate attack advantage. So your baseline is a 10-10. With
Yeah.
accurate attack, you can be up to a 15-5. With power attack, you could be a 5-15. So you can completely scale your beam to whatever accuracy damage you want between a 5-15 and the 15-5 split. Make sense?
Yes.
So you can make your beam super accurate or super damaging.
Okay.
And you have full customizing of that.
Okay, that's fine.
But-
yeah, let's do that.
So I'm going to drop that senses because it's not something you're going to be using a lot. So that's an easy enough to just call it a stunt. Okay, so you have accurate attack and power attack. So you can increase your accuracy by up to 5 and reduce your damage by up to 5 with accurate, or the other way around with power. Your damage by up. So your beam is anywhere from a 15-5 to a 5-15.
Okay.
You just got to declare what you want it to be before you shoot it,
Got it.
which gives you a lot of flexibility with that shot.
Right.
And improved crit is nice too. Let's see, protection. Yep. So toughness 16 is pretty nice. You're in a... So just to kind of show what I mean about that, the damage 5 things, you still have to roll against it, but you're rolling basically 1d20 plus 16 versus a DC of 20.
Got it.
Chance of damage 5 or less hurt you is there, it's just very low.
Right. Okay.
That way Dan still feels like he has the chance of hurting you.
Okay, sounds good. Yay, we're done.
Hooray!
Yay.
So we'll call this Silver Surfer. I will delete the ones that I was playing with earlier, so
Thank
I
you
don't
for your
confuse
help with
myself.
that. I appreciate it.
No problem. Deleted.
And while he does that, I'm going to sign off the stream. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate all of you staying around this long. If you have questions, let us know in the chat. Other than that, if you, as always, if you'd like to support us, you can head over. You can hit subscribe here on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. It's a nice thing that they offer that most people don't even know about. And last but not least, if you head over to our Patreon page, you can get your name on every show that we do for as little as $1 a month, just like all these fine folks did. We appreciate you watching, and until next time, game on.
A good one. So you need to find a picture of Silver Surfer that you want to use as well.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You want to send the link my way?
Sure.
And then I can attach it onto your character sheet.